Chapter 1385. It must have been soaked in the well water. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so cold. The men began to discuss curiously. Generally, the temperature of the well water was constant all year round. The well water would be very warm in winter and cool in summer. In ancient times, in order to freeze some things, they would draw some water from the well to freeze them. However, the temperature of the well water was not as good as ice cubes, and it could not cool things down as quickly as ice cubes. Therefore, it was more reliable to make ice cubes. Seeing that the men were discussing, Zhao Yun'er was too lazy to bother to explain that she made ice cubes. These people probably wouldn't understand. Since they thought that it was cold water from the well, she would just say that it was cold water from the well. Little girl Yun'er really knows how to make these things. The taste of this sour plum soup is really good. After drinking a cup into my stomach, I don't feel as hot as before. Xueqi sighed. Isn't that so? After drinking it, I sweated a lot and felt much better. If I could drink it every day, I would probably be able to do more work in a day. I feel like I have recovered a lot of strength. Yes. Hearing that they could do more work in a day, Zhao Yun'er decided that if she could spare some time, she would send some sour plum soup to these men from time to time. Later on, she could speed up the construction of her house and save a lot of money. After drinking the sour plum soup, these men rested for a while, then went to work in high spirits. Zhao Yun'er took the kettle back. She cooked a big pot of sour plum soup. Even though she drank a lot, there was still a lot left. This thing couldn't be left for too long. It took up a lot of space in the pot. If she didn't finish it early, it would spoil easily in this kind of weather. She could send some to the third branch, but Zhao Yun'er didn't want to talk to Liang Jinqiao now. She filled a pot of sour plum soup and gave it to Daodu. She said to Daodu, "Daodu, can you help me send this sour plum soup to your grandmother?" Daodu nodded heavily and said, "Mother, of course I can do that. Daodu will go right away." Seeing Daodu being so obedient and sensible, Zhao Yun'er's heart softened. She stroked Daodu's head and said to Daodu, "Okay, thank you Daodu. Daodu is such a good boy. But it's a bit heavy. Daodu, be careful when you hold it." Yes. Mother, don't worry. Daodu knows." Good that you know. Although Daodu was only a 3-year-old child, Zhao Yun'er was not worried about Daodu. She handed the jug of sour plum soup to Daodu. Daodu's small body went out the door. Looking at Daodu's figure, the corners of Zhao Yun'er's mouth curved up. "Yun'er, are you tired? Do you want to rest for a while? Do you want to sleep for a while?" Mu Lianfeng saw Zhao Yun'er yawn and asked. Looking into Mu Lianfeng's concerned eyes, Zhao Yun'er shook her head and said, "No need. I'm not tired. Rest for a while. You don't look very good." Mu Lianfeng's eyes were filled with distress. Zhao Yun'er quickly touched her face and asked nervously, "Really? My face doesn't look good?" "Yes, it's a little weak and yellowish. You probably didn't rest well. You need to recuperate. Don't tire yourself out. Yun'er, you're a woman. With me around, you can rely on anyone." Chapter 1386. Hearing Mu Lianfeng sigh, Zhao Yun'er began to reflect on herself. Was she too independent and strong that she had hurt Mu Lianfeng's pride as a man? Thinking about it, this was a possibility. Not to mention ancient times. Even in the 21st century, if a woman was too strong and did not rely on a man for anything, a man would also feel frustrated. Occasionally acting coquettishly and asking a man to do something would make him feel that he had value in his existence and would not feel frustrated. After Zhao Yun'er thought of this, she smiled and said, "All right then, I'll rest for a while. Can you fan me? The weather is too hot. I'm afraid I won't be able to sleep." Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a faint smile. Of course I can." "Okay, then I'll sleep for a while." "Okay." Zhao Yun'er lay on the bed and Mu Lianfeng waited on her. He held the fan and the cool wind was very comfortable. Zhao Yun'er felt her eyelids getting heavier and heavier. After a while, she fell into a half-asleep state. In a daze, she suddenly felt that her lips were covered by something cool. She originally wanted to open her eyes to see what was going on. Then she immediately realized that this cool thing should be Mu Lianfeng's lips. This guy, he actually kissed her when she was not paying attention. If she opened her eyes at this moment, She was afraid that both of them would be very embarrassed. She might as well not open her eyes and pretend that she did not know. So what if he kissed her? It was not like he had not kissed her before. Although she thought this in her heart, Zhao Yun could not help but blush. Feeling Zhao Yun's burning face, Mu Lianfeng still thought that Zhao Yun was like this because she was too hot, so he increased the strength of his hand. An even cooler wind came from the fan. Zhao Yun was very comfortable with the cool wind. Very quickly, she fell asleep again. After sleeping for about 10 minutes, she heard a child crying in the courtyard. It was Daodu's. Zhao Yun woke up at once. Mu Lianfeng had already walked out of the house. Daodu, what's wrong? Mu Lianfeng gently asked Daodu. Daodu looked at Mu Lianfeng with an aggrieved expression. His eyes were as big as beans, which made one's heart ache. Daddy. Daodu threw himself into Mu Lianfeng's arms. Mu Lianfeng's expression became more serious as he felt the soft body behind his words. Zhao Yun also came out. Seeing Daodu's aggrieved look, she asked, Daodu, what's wrong? If there's anything, just tell mother and father. If anyone bullies you, mother will help you beat them up. Daodu sniffled. There was still snot on his nose. Mu Lianfeng didn't mind. Even though he was wearing luxurious clothes, he used his sleeve to wipe Daodu's nose. Then he coaxed gently, All right, Daodu, don't cry, okay? Daodu, can you tell us what happened now? Daodu choked with sobs, then said to Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yun, Mother, father, the sour plum soup was stolen by Iron Hammer. The Iron Hammer that Daodu mentioned was the precious grandson of Zhao Yun's eldest grandmother, Mrs. Hu. Zhao Baojun and Mrs. Hu lived with their eldest son, and Iron Hammer was their eldest son's only son. It wasn't easy for them to give birth to this precious son. He was only 7 years old this year. Chapter 1387. He was the kind of brat who would snatch anything that caught his eye. Children were like this because their parents didn't educate them well. At home, they were pampered by their parents and could do whatever they wanted. After all, it had nothing to do with others, so others wouldn't care. However, if they were so tyrannical outside, then it was really inexcusable. Others didn't have to tolerate it. Therefore, when Zhao Yun heard this, she was immediately a little angry. She asked Daodu, Daodu, other than snatching your sour plum soup, did Iron Hammer do anything else? For example, did he push you or hit you? Daodu nodded aggrievedly. Mother, yes. I didn't give Iron Hammer, so he pushed me, but he didn't hit me. Then Daodu, did it hurt? It didn't hurt. It's just that the sour plum soup was snatched away. The sour plum soup is delicious, so Daodu didn't want to give it to Iron Hammer. Hearing Daodu's words, Zhao Yun sighed in relief. As long as Daodu didn't suffer any harm, it was fine. It wasn't that important that it was snatched away. At this moment, Daodu was like a baby who had been wronged. Children who cared about things that were snatched away would feel very upset. Zhao Yun patted Daodu and said to Daodu, Daodu, be good, don't cry. Let's go. Mother will take you to settle the score. Daodu looked up at Zhao Yun. His sparkling little eyes were very beautiful and charming. Especially when there were tears in his eyes, they seemed to be a little misty. This child would definitely grow up to be a handsome man. Just look at Mu Lianfeng. Now that she thought about it, genes were too important. Only a man like Mu Lianfeng could give birth to a child as cute as Daodu. Unlike Zhao Yun, Mu Lianfeng first said to Daodu, Daodu, did you forget what father said to you? You're a man, so you shouldn't cry like this. When you encounter a problem, think about how to solve it, not cry. Do you understand? Daodu nodded heavily and replied, Yes, father, Daodu understands. Daodu won't cry. Good. Then let's go settle the score. Mu Lianfeng pulled Daodu's little hand. Zhao Yun didn't let Mu Lianfeng go with them. Mu Lianfeng's status was not ordinary, so it was better to let her handle this kind of matter. Otherwise, the villagers would say that Mu Lianfeng was too protective of his children, and that he actually argued with Tai Xueqi over a pot of sour plum soup. Mu Lianfeng himself didn't care, but Zhao Yun didn't like people talking behind Mu Lianfeng's back. Anyway, she didn't care about her reputation, nor was she afraid of being called a shrew. She was the most suitable person to go. Mu Lianfeng, you go do your thing. I'll take care of Daodu by myself. Mu Lianfeng asked worriedly. Yuner, are you okay by yourself? Or should I go with you? No need, you're a man. It's not suitable for you to argue with a few women. Don't worry, I'll be fine by myself. Don't be afraid that I'll be bullied. Those people can't beat me. Mu Lianfeng saw Zhao Yuner's fierce expression, so he smiled and said, Well, Yuner, you take Daodu with you. If they bully you, come back and tell me. Got it. Zhao Yuner nodded in response, then took Daodu's hand and walked towards the Hu residence. Chapter 1388. At this moment, in Madame Hu's courtyard, Madame Hu and Madame Hu's eldest daughter-in-law, the fat girl, were enjoying the cool air under a tree. In this kind of weather, if they worked, they would die from the heat. Women were not like men. Most of the time, they were busy with housework and did not interfere with the work in the fields. Otherwise, how could they be so comfortable at this time and sit under a tree to enjoy the cool air? Madame Hu moved out a bamboo couch and lay on it, sleeping with her eyes closed. However, although the sun was blocked under the tree, the weather was still very hot. It was so hot that her body was sweating. Madame Hu called out to the fat girl, Eldest daughter-in-law, give me a fan. I can't sleep because of the heat. The fat girl unhappily replied, Mother, I'm also sleepy and hot. Her huge body had a lot of fat, so she was more afraid of heat than anyone else. Because of her thick fat, she was not cold in the winter. It was only unbearably hot in the summer. At this time, the fat girl's forehead was already soaked with a layer of sweat and she was very hot. Fat girl, what else can you do? I only asked you to fan me, but you're too lazy to fan me. Mother, don't you see that my situation is much worse than yours? It's said that fat people are the most afraid of heat. Mother, you don't have as much fat as me. So you're definitely not as hot as me now. Madame Hu couldn't help but roll her eyes at the fat girl. Eldest daughter-in-law, you have so many people on you, yet you're still so proud? It's our Zhao family's fault for being too good to you and feeding you until you're so fat. Don't eat tonight. You have so much fat on your body. If you lose weight, you won't be hot anymore. Madame Hu's words frightened the fat girl. If she didn't eat, it would be the worst. The fat girl hurriedly fawned over Madame Hu and said, Mother, I was wrong. Can't I fan you? Humph, that's more like it. Madame Hu snorted. The fat girl picked up the fan and gently fanned Madame Hu. Madame Hu closed her eyes and seemed to be enjoying herself. After a while, her eyelids became heavier and heavier, and she began to doze off. An earthquake-like snoring sound was heard. Seeing that Madame Hu was sleeping so soundly, the fat girl also became sleepy. He opened his mouth and yawned. His eyelids also seemed very heavy. Mother, grandmother. Hammer's voice rang out. Then, he saw the figure of a child running towards the courtyard. The fat girl was still dozing off, but when she heard the sound of the hammer, she immediately woke up. Iron Hammer, why are you back so early today? Mother, I snatched something good and came back. Iron Hammer proudly waved the thing in his hand and said to the fat girl. If an ordinary parent heard that their child had snatched something from someone else, they might have scolded him. However, the fat girl was not like that. Instead, she praised Iron Hammer. Is that so? Kiske. Then my Iron Hammer is too awesome. As expected of mother's son. After being praised by the fat girl, Iron Hammer became even more proud. Mother, of course. Tisk. TSK. Iron Hammer. Come here quickly. What is it? Let mother see. Mother, it's something delicious. I drank it just now. It's delicious. It's even better than sugar water. When the fat girl heard this, she immediately became excited. Iron Hammer, is what you said true? Come, let mother have a sip. Chapter 1389. I know, Tai Chue. Mother won't steal your drink, will she? Tai Chue softly responded and carefully stared at the chubby girl, fearing that she would accidentally drink too much. After the cold sour plum soup entered her stomach, the chubby girl immediately felt a little better. She couldn't help but want to drink more, but she was stopped by Tai Chue. Mother, you're not allowed to drink anymore. You've already drunk a lot. The chubby girl wiped the corner of her mouth and coaxed Tai Chue. Tai Chue, you definitely can't finish this big pot by yourself. Mother will drink a few more mouthfuls. This thing is sour and sweet. And it's also cooling. It's really good stuff. Tai Chue ignored the chubby girl and snatched the pot. Mother, you can drink it. Why do you still want to drink it after drinking it? I still want to drink it slowly later. The chubby girl awkwardly pulled the corner of her mouth. Okay, you child. Mother won't drink it anymore. Humph. Madam Hu's eyes slightly opened. She was awakened by the chubby girl and Tai Chue's conversation. What good thing did Tai Chue bring back? Grandma also wants to drink it. Madam Hu was still a little sleepy, but at this moment, she suddenly had the strength to get up from the bed. Tai Chue's mouth twitched. He was not very happy, but he knew that pleasing Madam Hu was the most beneficial thing in this family. So, he handed the pot to Madam Hu. Madam Hu drank a few mouthfuls, which made the chubby girl beside her very greedy. Grandmother, drink it, Tai Chue urged, fearing that Madam Hu would drink too much. Yes. Madam Hu returned the pot to Tai Chue and curiously asked, Tai Chue, what good thing is this? Where did you get it? Grandmother, I don't know what good thing it is. I snatched it from Daodu. As soon as she heard that Tai Chue snatched it from Daodu, the chubby girl was frightened and scolded Tai Chue. You child, you can snatch it from anyone, but why did you snatch it from Daodu? Don't you know who Daodu's father is? After being scolded by the chubby girl, Tai Chue angrily went to Madam Hu and acted like a spoiled child. Grandmother, my mother is scolding me. Madam Hu treasured her grandson so much that she began to lecture the chubby girl instead. What are you yelling about? Aren't you afraid of scaring the child? Mother, we can steal other people's things, but we can't steal Daodu's. The heir apparent and Yuner are not to be trifled with. They'll definitely come and cause trouble later. What should we do then? Madam Hu rolled her eyes at Chubby Nyo. What's the hurry? You've already snatched it back. Do you still want to send it back? Besides, we've already drunk it. What's the point of thinking about it now? He even scared Iron Hammer. The fat girl curled her lips and didn't say anything else. Iron Hammer's heart was filled with pride. Madam Hu stroked Tai Chue's head and said, Tai Chue, if you want to drink it, then drink it quickly. Otherwise, when someone comes to ask for it, you'll take it back. Iron Hammer nodded his head heavily and poured the sour plum soup into his stomach. After drinking so much sour plum soup, Iron Hammer's stomach suddenly became very round. He was so full that he couldn't stop burping. It's delicious. It's delicious. Iron Hammer, who was full from drinking, still praised. Tai Chue, do you have any more? Madam Hu asked. Milk. There's still a little left. I can't drink any more. Iron Hammer touched his stomach and said, If you can't drink any more, then I'll give you some milk. Madam Hu took the jug and drank the rest of the sour plum soup in one gulp. Chapter 1390. When the chubby girl saw this, she couldn't help but swallow her saliva. She eagerly asked, Mother, is there any more? I also want to drink it. Madam Hu unhappily replied, There's no more. The chubby girl's expression suddenly became very disappointed. She sighed regretfully and said, Mother, there's really no more? Madam Hu coldly glanced at the chubby girl and said to her, What's wrong? Do you want to drink it? Why did you say that Iron Hammer shouldn't have been snatched? Mother, if you don't want to talk about it, then just talk about it. It's not a big deal. Hee hee. Madam Hu sneered. Just as she put down the kettle, she saw an adult and a child coming over. From afar, she recognized that the people who came were Zhao Yuner and Daodu. As soon as she saw Zhao Yuner, the chubby girl hurriedly pulled on Madam Hu's sleeve and said, Mother, look, Zhao Yuner came over. Why are you so afraid? If she's here, then so be it. Madam Hu appeared very calm. The chubby girl felt strange. Why wasn't her mother afraid of Zhao Yun? Her mother had suffered at the hands of Zhao Yuner before. She wasn't someone who hadn't suffered before. How could she be so calm, as if she wasn't afraid of Zhao Yuner at all? Zhao Yun arrived in front of Madam Hu and the chubby girl. After coldly glancing at the two adults, her icy gaze fell on Iron Hammer. Seeing Zhao Yuner's murderous gaze, Iron Hammer was so scared that he hid behind Madam Hu. He tugged on Madam Hu's clothes and said to her, Grandmother, help me. Madam Hu put her hands on her waist and angrily said, Zhao Yun, what are you doing? You scared my precious grandson. Zhao Yun looked at Madame Hu in amusement and said to her, I'm not blaming you but you're blaming me. Madame, your precious grandson doesn't even care about himself. He's snatching things from Daodu. Madame Hu spoke to Zhao Yuner like a hoodlum. Yuner, what you said is wrong. When did my family's iron hammer steal from your family's Daodu? Which eye of yours saw that? Zhao Yuner sneered. You're holding my kettle in your hand. What? Don't tell me you don't want to admit it. Who doesn't want to admit it? What are you talking about? Really, how can you say that my iron hammer was stolen? I can even say that your Daodu gave it to me. Did anyone see it? Can you prove it? Daodu is just a 3-year-old child who can't tell right from wrong. You believe everything he says? Zhao Yun finally understood what a scoundrel was. Encountering such a person, Zhao Yuner felt even worse than eating dog shit. It seemed that it was useless to talk nicely. He had to use his fists. Zhao Yuner picked up a wooden stick from the ground and said to Madame Hu's family, Then I'll give you a good beating now. Later you can say that I beat you up. I can deny it. In any case, no one saw it. You can't find anyone else to prove that I beat you up. As soon as Zhao Yuner finished speaking, Madame Hu saw the wooden stick in her hand. Madame Hu's legs immediately went weak. She said to Zhao Yuner, Yuner, why are you being so violent? Isn't it just a drink? So what if you gave my family's iron hammer? You even mustered so many people to come to our house to ask for it. I've never seen such a petty person like you. Chapter 1391. Madame Hu had drunk the sour plum soup herself, so she knew what it was. She frowned and couldn't help but worry. Could it really be something good? Zhao Yuner was with Mu Lianfeng, so Mu Lianfeng should have a lot of good things. If it was really from the Xueqi, then it would be very precious. So what? Yuner, you're Tietue's older sister. We're family, so why are you being so calculative? Tietue is a child, so let him drink it. Madame Hu curled her lips and grumbled. Eldest young mistress, you actually have the nerve to say that we're family. Who would want to hear that? We're family, yet you're still fighting over things. I don't know where your face is. As Zhao Yun spoke, she waved the stick in Madame Hu's direction. Madame Hu was so scared that she quickly hid her chrysanthemum and dodged. Zhao Yun, what are you doing? Are you trying to kill someone? The corners of Zhao Yuner's mouth curled up. I'm not trying to kill someone, I'm just teaching them a lesson. You stop it right now. You wish. You can stop, but you must give me an explanation today. Madame Hu hurriedly said, just say what explanation you want. If we can do it, we'll agree. Seeing Zhao Yun acting like a shrew, Madame Hu was really scared. She was afraid that the stick in Zhao Yuner's hand would fall on her head. If that happened, she might really lose her life. Since Madame Hu was so straightforward, Zhao Yun wasn't an unreasonable person. She put away the stick in her hand and said to Madame Hu, the explanation I want is very simple. Either you compensate me, or I'll teach Tietue a lesson. When Madame Hu heard this, she first glanced at Tietue. If her precious grandson fell into Zhao Yuner's hands, it would be terrible. She didn't know how Zhao Yuner would deal with him. If something were to happen to his eldest grandson, it would be disastrous. Madame Hu thought for a moment and asked, Yun, if we were to compensate, how much should we compensate? I don't need too much, just 2 taels of silver will do. When Madame Hu heard Zhao Yuner say 2 taels of silver, she immediately exploded. What? Yuner girl, are you trying to raise the price? 2 taels of silver? Why don't you go and steal it? A pot of drinks costs 2 taels of silver? Zhao Yuner snorted softly. Young mistress, how did I raise the price? I really don't like what you're saying. The rarer something is, the more valuable it is. Most people can't make my things, so 2 taels of silver isn't expensive. If you think that I'm cheating you, that's fine too. At worst, I won't take these 2 taels of silver. You stole a pot from me, so return it to me. Then, I won't pursue this matter. When Madame Hu heard Zhao Yuner's words, she became even angrier. She drank it all, not leaving a single drop behind. Where would she get the sour plum soup to return to Zhao Yuner? Wasn't it obvious that she knew that she couldn't do it and was deliberately making things difficult for her? Madam Hu hesitated for a long time. Zhao Yun raised her voice and said, "If you can't take out the 2 taels of silver, then there's only one other option. Hand over Xueqi and let me teach him a lesson." "Don't worry, young mistress. I'll just teach him a lesson. I won't beat him to death or cripple him." When Xueqi heard Zhao Yun's words, he was so frightened that he immediately cried, "Grandmother, don't! I don't want to be beaten. Grandmother, don't let her bully me." Chapter 1392. Mrs. Hu's heart ached for her grandson. The first branch only had one precious son, and she had personally raised him. How could she not like him? But thinking of the 2 taels of silver, Mrs. Hu's heart ached. Where could an ordinary family get 2 taels of silver? 2 taels of silver were enough to buy a lot of meat for Zhao Yun. It was better to let Zhao Yun beat Iron Hammer first, and then use the 2 taels of silver to buy more delicious food for Iron Hammer to nourish his body. Seeing Mrs. Hu's expression, the fat girl knew that Mrs. Hu was unwilling to give the money to Zhao Yun, so she hugged Iron Hammer and protected him behind her. "Mother, if Iron Hammer falls into Zhao Yun's hands, he definitely won't have a good ending. Don't believe Zhao Yun's words. She's too vicious. Who doesn't suffer when they fall into her hands?" Iron Hammer hurriedly nodded in response. "Mother, Daodu's mother is so fierce. Iron Hammer is so scared." Zhao Yun glanced at the fat girl and Iron Hammer. Iron Hammer, this child, was really interesting. When he was a robber, he wasn't afraid, but now he immediately became a coward. A child with this kind of character would have no future when he grew up. "Then don't talk nonsense. Give me the money, or I'll directly go to the government to sue you. Adults have to take the blame for the things that children do. You adults can deal with the prison case." Hearing that they would be sued, the fat girl and Mrs. Hu were shocked. Zhao Yun had a relationship with the heir presumptive. Who knew if the government would collude with Zhao Yun and then catch them? "Mother." The fat girl looked at Mrs. Hu. She didn't want to be sued, but she also didn't want to give up her child. "Eldest daughter-in-law, if you want to be sued, you can go. If you don't want to, you can hand over Iron Hammer." Mrs. Hu's meaning was very clear. If Zhao Yun went to sue, the fat girl would be the one to take the blame, not her. The fat girl was naturally unwilling. Compared to her precious son being punished, she was more concerned about her own life. One had to know that once they entered the prison, they might be tortured to death. No matter how bold Zhao Yun was, she wouldn't dare to do anything to Tai Chue. After struggling for a moment, the chubby girl said to Madam Hu, "Mother, why don't we give the hammer to Zhao Yun?" Madam Hu nodded in response. "Iron Hammer, go over." The fat girl pushed Iron Hammer. Iron Hammer hugged the fat girl's leg and refused to let go. He shouted at the fat girl, I'm not going, mother, I don't want to go." "Child, don't be too stubborn. Hurry up and go." "Mother, you don't treat me well." "Grandma, please save me. I'm your precious eldest grandson. Didn't you drink what I stole? How can you let me suffer now?" Tai Chue's pleading eyes fell on Madam Hu. Madam Hu glared at Iron Hammer and made up her mind. "Child, you don't know how to control your strength. If you want to steal someone's things, you should pick someone who is easy to bully. Daodu's father is the heir of the royal family. You even dared to touch him. Do you want to die? Today will be a lesson for you. Child, you must remember it well, understand?" The fat girl's mouth twitched. Her mother's words were really fickle. Just now, she had said something similar and was reprimanded by Hu Shi. Now, Hu Shi was the one who said it. Iron Hammer hugged the fat girl's leg and refused to let go. The fat girl had no choice but to pull Iron Hammer's ear and bring him to Zhao Yun. Chapter 1393. Zhao Yun nodded. "And?" The fat girl sighed and glanced at Tai Chue worriedly. She made up her mind and stepped aside. When Tai Chue saw Zhao Yun's fierce eyes, he was scared and wanted to run away. Unfortunately, Tai Chue was still slower than Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun caught Tai Chue. "Do you want to run away?" There was a cold smile on Gu Ning's face. Even if Tai Chue was a child, she wouldn't let him off easily. In the 21st century, children were spoiled even more. Basically, parents would turn a blind eye to the bad things their children did. However, they didn't know that they were indulging their children. They thought that the bad things their children did could be tolerated and forgiven. In fact, it wasn't the case. If a child was a bad person from a young age, how could they expect him to be a good person when he grew up? If they wanted to educate their children, they had to be educated from a young age. Learning to be a good person was more important than anything else. Tai Xueqi struggled for a while in Zhao Yun'er's hands, but he couldn't get out of Zhao Yun'er's hands. He could only shout at Zhao Yun'er, "Let me go! Let me go! You're a bad person! Let me go! Mom, Grandma, please help me! Please help me! Mom, Grandma!" Tai Xueqi struggled and shouted at the same time. When he couldn't get out, he kicked Zhao Yun'er several times. Seeing Tai Xueqi kicking at her, Zhao Yun'er was annoyed. This child was really out of control. If she didn't teach him a lesson, he wouldn't know what was good for him. Just when Zhao Yun'er was about to help him, Tai Xueqi sat on the ground and cried with his hands on his stomach. "It hurts. It hurts so much. My stomach hurts so much. It's really killing me. Grandma, Mom, my stomach hurts." Zhao Yun'er looked at Tai Xueqi, who was sitting on the ground with his hands on his stomach. She didn't know whether Tai Xueqi was really in pain or pretending. "I didn't touch you, and now you're pretending? If he really touched you, wouldn't you play dead?" Zhao Yun'er sneered. Chubby Nyo and Madam Who thought so too. They were all staring. Zhao Yun'er really did not touch the hammer. The child was probably afraid of being hit, so she pretended. Although the two of them were worried, they stood by the side. Zhao Yun'er coldly snorted and had Daodu bring a thorny thorn over. She pinned Iron Hammer's pants to the ground and started whipping him. "Don't worry, there's a lot of meat on the buttocks. It won't hurt the shins, but the pain is unavoidable," Zhao Yun'er said to the fat girl. If she were to spank a child, she would have to spank his butt. It wouldn't be a big deal. She did this because she didn't want Chubby Nyo and Madam Who to come over and make a fuss if something really happened to Iron Hammer. As soon as Zhao Yun'er whipped him, red stripes of thorns appeared on Iron Hammer's buttocks. Iron Hammer howled in pain like a wolf. However, Zhao Yun'er didn't want to stop. She kept whipping him with the thorns in her hand. "Mom, Grandma, it hurts so much. My buttocks and my stomach hurt so much." Chubby Nyo cried when she saw Iron Hammer's buttocks. She said to Zhao Yun'er, "Have you taught him a lesson? Let Iron Hammer go. How can it be cured so soon? Why are you so vicious?" Chubby Nyo glared at Zhao Yun'er. Chapter 1394. Zhao Yun'er no longer paid attention to the chubby girl and hit Tai Xueqi's buttocks a few more times. After a total of 10 hits, Zhao Yun'er finally let go. The chubby girl and Madam Who hurriedly rushed to Tai Xueqi and hugged him as they cried. "Tai Xueqi, how are you? Are you okay? Don't scare your mother." The chubby girl wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes. Tai Xueqi's face was already covered in tears. When he opened his mouth, snot flowed down together with his nose. "Mother, it hurts so much." His buttocks were like blooming flowers. How could it not hurt? "Tai Xueqi, don't cry. It's all good now, you don't have to suffer anymore. There's an ointment at home. Wait a moment, Mother will take it out and apply it to you. It won't hurt anymore after you apply it." After the chubby girl finished speaking, Madam Who nervously urged, "Hurry up and get it." The chubby girl's plump body rushed into the house and soon came out with a small bottle. Madam Who called out, Come, chubby girl, hurry up and apply the ointment to Tai Xueqi's buttocks. Look at his buttocks, it's too scary. It must be painful. Mother, it must be painful. His buttocks are bleeding." Madam Who sighed and her eyes were a little wet. She was usually reluctant to touch this precious grandson of hers. Today, he suffered so much in the hands of Zhao Yun'er. It really made her heart ache. This Zhao Yun'er, at such a young age, how could her heart be so cruel? The chubby girl took out some ointment and applied it on Tai Xueqi's buttocks. Then she heard Tai Xueqi's tragic cries. "It hurts so much. It hurts so much." The chubby girl comforted him. "Tai Xueqi, bear with it. Mother is already light enough. It hurts now, but it will be fine in a while." Tai Xueqi gritted his teeth and endured. Although he didn't continue to cry, he suddenly let out a loud fart like a cannon. Then, an extremely unpleasant stench filled the air. Madam Hu and the chubby girl were slightly stunned by the loud fart. Then, he saw a lot of poop on Iron Hammer's butt. This. The fat girl was stunned by the scene in front of her. Didn't his butt hurt? Why did Iron Hammer spit out shit? You child, what are you doing? It's so smelly. Aren't you afraid that your mother and I will die from the smell of your poop? Iron Hammer curled his lips and said to his mother and the fat girl, Mom, Grandma, I already told you that I have a stomachache, but you didn't listen to me. You didn't care about me either. You just ignored me. Who sure and fat chick looked at Iron Hammer helplessly and comforted him. Okay, Iron Hammer, I won't talk about you anymore, okay? Fat chick. Hurry up and get some water to wipe Iron Hammer's butt. Got it, mother. The fat girl endured the disgust in her heart and nodded in response. Then, she went out to get the basin. Daodu pinched his nose and pulled the corner of Zhao Yun'er's clothes. He said to Zhao Yun'er, Mom, it stinks. Daodu's soft voice softened Zhao Yun'er's heart. She smiled at Daodu and said, Let's go. We won't be able to smell it if we leave. Daodu nodded heavily. Since they had finished cleaning up Iron Hammer, there was no point in staying. Zhao Yun'er held the kettle in her hand and held Daodu's hand, walking towards her own room. Chapter 1395. She scooped some sour plum soup out of the pot and decided to deliver it personally. Carrying the sour plum soup, she went to the third branch's room. Liang Jinqiao was not there. He must have gone to the fields to do something. Zhao Yun'er put the kettle on the table in the third branch's room and then went out of old Zhao's courtyard. The second branch's people saw Zhao Yun'er delivering something. Li Chueying muttered that Zhao Yun'er must have delivered something good again. She sneaked into the third branch's room. When she entered, she found a kettle delivered by Zhao Yun'er on the table in the third branch's room. She thought that the kettle must be filled with something good. Basically, the things delivered by Zhao Yun'er were not bad. Li Chueying looked behind her to make sure that no one was coming. She picked up the kettle, poured a cup, and drank. After tasting the food, Li Chueying immediately liked it. After drinking a cup, he murmured, What kind of good stuff is this? How is it delicious? Not only was it delicious, but after drinking it, Li Chueying felt much better. She was so tired from working just now that she sweated. Now, even the sweat was discharged. Should I drink more? Li Chueying muttered and couldn't help but want to drink more. Anyway, there was no one in the room now. Her third sister-in-law was not in the room. She wouldn't be found out if she drank more. It was a full pot. There was a lot of it. As long as there was half of it left, Liang Jinqiao would not ask Zhao Yun'er if she had sent a full pot or half a pot. Li Chueying held the cup and continued to pour a few more cups. She gulped down the tea into her stomach. After drinking, Li Chueying wiped her mouth and left the third branch's room with satisfaction. Tianyu's mother. Zhao Wenxue exclaimed in the room. Li Chueying rushed into the room and stood in front of Zhao Wenxue. She asked Zhao Wenxue, Tianyu's father, what's wrong? Where did you go? You couldn't even call for help. Zhao Wenxue reprimanded angrily. Tianyu's father, I'm going to do some work now. How could you call for me if I wasn't in the courtyard? Why are you looking for me? Zhao Wenxue snorted and said to Li Chueying, You woman, you don't care about your man. You haven't applied the ointment for me today. Are you hoping that I won't be able to get out of bed? Li Chueying smiled embarrassedly and replied to Zhao Wenxue, Tianyu's father, what are you talking about? How could I not want you to get out of bed? After you got injured, I had to do all the chores at home. I was so busy that I didn't forget to apply the ointment for you. Zhao Wenxue snorted and didn't believe Li Chueying. Li Chueying didn't continue to explain. She took out the ointment. Come on, Tianyu's father. Raise your butt a little. I'll apply it for you. Zhao Wenxue cooperated and raised his butt a little. Li Chueying suddenly let out a loud burp because she drank too much of the sour plum soup. Ha ha, Zhao Wenxue turned around angrily and glanced at Li Chueying. He said to Li Chueying, You woman, what were you doing just now? Still working? I think he must have secretly eaten something, right? Chapter 1396. She replied guiltily, Tianyu's father, what are you talking about? I didn't steal food. There's nothing delicious in our house for me to steal. Zhao Wenxue snorted. You didn't? If you didn't, why don't you explain to me why you burped so loudly? The corners of Li Chueying's mouth twitched slightly, and she seemed a little embarrassed. Tianyu's father? I just burped. It's not a big deal. Really, I don't only burp when I eat. I also burp when I drink too much water. I just drank a little too much just now. Zhao Wenshui's large number of eyes looked up and down Li Chueying's body. He knew that this woman's words were not reliable. Humph, I hope so. If not, you just wait and see, Zhao Wenxue warned. Li Chueying was a little scared and disappointed at the same time. This man of hers was becoming more and more unkind to her. Now he was lying on the bed unable to move, and she was the only one serving him. Why didn't he know how to talk about how good she was? She was not as good as Chen Chuanxiu except for her appearance. Which part of her was inferior to Chen Chuanxiu? The more Li Chueying thought about it, the more disappointed she felt in her heart. She sighed in her heart. Weren't women like this? If a woman didn't marry a good man, she could only suffer for the rest of her life. Since she was married, there was nothing she could do. In this life, she could only accept her fate. If she wanted to blame someone, she could only blame herself for being wrong. After Li Chueying wiped half of her butt, she suddenly felt a sharp pain in her stomach. Ouch, it hurts so much. I can't. Li Chueying covered her stomach and screamed. Zhao Wenxue glanced at his woman indifferently and replied unhappily, Woman, why are you screaming? What's wrong? Tianyu's father, my stomach suddenly hurts. Li Chueying said to Zhao Wenxue with an aggrieved face. Stomach ache? Zhao Wenxue frowned. UB*TCH, why do you have a stomachache? Humph, I think you must have eaten something good. Now you've eaten something bad, right? No, Tianyu's father. No. You're still so stubborn, stinky woman. You're eating delicious food but you don't know how to give it to your man. You only care about yourself. Why did I marry such a heartless woman? Li Chueying looked at Zhao Wenxue in disappointment. She still felt that she had married a heartless man. Zhao Wenxue actually said that to her. It really hurt her heart. Li Chueying was unhappy, so he didn't want to let Zhao Wenxue wipe the other half of Zhao Wenshue's butt. He said to Zhao Wenxue, Tianyu's father, haven't I treated you well? Feel your conscience and tell me that you wronged me when you went to find Widow Qian. I haven't even settled the score with you yet. Now you're saying that I'm heartless. Why don't you let that Widow Qian serve you? Let her wipe the ointment on your butt. With that, Li Chueying covered her stomach and walked out of the second branch's room. Zhao Wenxue shouted at Li Chueying, UB*TCH, you're still throwing a tantrum. Come back quickly. I told you to come back. Did you hear me? You're disobedient. When my butt recovers, see if I don't get up and teach you a lesson when my butt recovers. Li Chueying didn't hear Zhao Wenshue's voice. She ran directly to the latrine and started to poop. Chapter 1397. Even though he had pooped a lot, his stomach still hurt badly. Li Chueying felt cold sweat coming out of his forehead. What happened to him? Why did his stomach hurt all of a sudden? That was so strange. Li Chueying thought for a while. He didn't eat anything except for the sour plum juice that Zhao Yuner brought over. Was there something wrong with Zhao Yuner's sour plum juice? Ouch! Li Chueying clutched her stomach, which felt like it was being twisted by a knife, and muttered in pain. If Li Chueying had known that his stomach hurt so much, he would never have drunk the sour plum juice that Zhao Yuner brought over. Dong dong dong. Li Chueying let out a loud fart, and then expelled a lot of dirty things from her stomach. After squatting in the latrine for a long time, his legs were numb and weak. However, Li Chueying could only continue squatting in his stomach. Zhao Wenxue was in the room. He thought Li Chueying was mad at him and ignored him on purpose. He continued to shout outside the room, Tianyu's mother, get in here right now. Why are you still gambling? Tianyu's mother, did you hear that? If you don't come in, I'll be mad. Tianyu's mother. After shouting for a while, he didn't hear Li Chueying's response. Zhao Wenxue grumbled unhappily, this damned woman is too much. I haven't even applied ointment on half of my butt and she's already leaving me hanging. I owe my butt. When will it recover if this goes on? The other members of old Zhao's family didn't care about Zhao Wenshui's business. However, Hua Chunhua heard it. She walked into Zhao Wenshui's room and said to Zhao Wenshui unhappily, "Wenshui, why are you shouting like a ghost?" "Really?" Seeing Hua Chunhua come in, Zhao Wenshui thought that his butt was still outside, so he quickly pulled on his pants. Unfortunately, he couldn't do anything about it. Zhao Wenshui was lying on his stomach on the bed, so it was difficult for him to exert any strength. Therefore, Hua Chunhua saw Zhao Wenshui's butt. Seeing that Zhao Wenshui was in a hurry to pull up his pants, Hua Chunhua said faintly, "Second brother, why are you covering up? Mother gave birth to you. Mother has seen your butt countless times since you were young. What's there to be embarrassed about in front of me?" Zhao Wenshui blushed slightly as he muttered to Hua Chunhua, "Mom, the past is the past, but the present is the present." Hua Chunhua rolled her eyes at Zhao Wenshui and said to Zhao Wenshui, "What's wrong now? Did you forget about your mother after you got married? Now that your wife can see your butt, why can't your mother see it?" Zhao Wenshui muttered, "Mom, what are you talking about? It doesn't make sense at all." "Fine, fine. You were born in my belly. It's fine if you feel embarrassed in front of others, but you don't need to do that in front of me." Zhao Wenshui glanced at Hua Chunhua and didn't know how to respond to Hua Chunhua. If other men in the village knew that his mother had seen his butt, they would laugh at him. However, in his mother's eyes, it was nothing. "Tell me, why are you calling me your wife? What's the matter?" Speaking of that, Zhao Wenshui curled his lips. "Mom, Tianyu's mother applied the ointment on my butt, and then she ran away." Hua Chunhua then glanced at Zhao Wenshui's butt. "Where did she go?" Chapter 1398. Hua Chunhua snorted. "Your daughter-in-law is getting more and more unreasonable. Our old Zhao family is so unlucky to have her as our daughter-in-law. Put the ointment on your butt first, and I'll get even with that bitch later." Zhao Wenshui was scared when he heard that Hua Chunhua was going to put ointment on his butt. "Mom, why are you helping me? Why don't you wait for Tianyu's mother to come back and help me?" Hua Chunhua gave Zhao Wenshui a glance. "You don't know how long you'll have to wait for her to come back. You can't leave the other half of your butt hanging, can you?" Zhao Wenshui blushed and murmured, "Mom?" All right, don't be shy in front of me." "Why are you so shy? You've forgotten your mom after you got married. You only know your daughter-in-law." Being scolded by Hua Chunhua, Zhao Wenshui had to listen to Hua Chunhua. However, Hua Chunhua's behavior made him feel a little strange. Luckily, no one saw it, or he would be too ashamed to face anyone. Hua Chunhua took the ointment and finished applying the rest of Zhao Wenshui's butt. She put the ointment away and said to Zhao Wenshui, "Wenshui, you can have a good rest in the room. I'm going to find your shameless wife now." Zhao Wenshui nodded. Hua Chunhua walked out of the room angrily. She walked around for a while and searched the yard, but couldn't find Li Chueying. She shouted at Li Chueying, but didn't hear any response from Li Chueying, so she stood in the yard and cursed. "That evil bitch better not be caught by me. If I catch her, I'll teach her a lesson. Don't come back if you dare. You don't even care about your own man. What kind of person is she?" Hearing Hua Chunhua's cursing, Li Chueying couldn't help trembling. Her stomach still hurt, and she always wanted to poop. Every time it hurt for a while, she could only poop a little. It was worse than the usual stomachache. If she pulled up her pants now, she would definitely run to the toilet in less than a minute. However, Hua Chunhua was cursing fiercely in the courtyard. If she didn't go out now, she didn't know what kind of unpleasant words Hua Chunhua would scold. Li Chueying thought, and decided to go explain it to Hua before she came back to the toilet. I'm B. Hua Chunhua heard Li Chueying's voice in the yard. She frowned unhappily and continued to scold. "People say that lazy people poop and pee a lot. That's what my second daughter-in-law is like. You've been in the toilet for so long. How much poop do you have to poop?" Li Chueying felt wronged in the toilet. She curled her lips and said, "Damn it, this old woman is so controlling. She can nag me for a long time even when I'm just taking a dump. What can I do if my stomach hurts? It's not like I want it." Although Li Chueying said that, she still got up. Unfortunately, because she had been squatting for a long time, her legs were numb and sore. She couldn't stand up at all. Li Chueying stood up with difficulty, but she lost her balance and fell into the manure vat. With a plop, the whole manure vat seemed to explode, and the things inside splashed out. What followed was a foul smell that she had never smelled before. Chapter 1399. Li Chueying waited for the liquid in the dung tank to enter her nostrils. Stimulated by the stench, Li Chueying suddenly realized what had happened to her. Li Chueying's face became extremely pale. Great, she accidentally fell into the manure tank and was covered with feces all over her body. It was even more disgusting than being splashed with feces by Zhao Yuner. How could she be like this? Li Chueying thought for a while in the manure tank, then wanted to climb out of the manure tank. Why don't I take a bath by the river for a few hours? I'm afraid that I can't get rid of the stench on my body. Li Chueying herself also began to dislike herself when she smelled the stench, not to mention the others who despised her. Anyway, she felt that she would be laughed at if she walked out like this. Li Chueying climbed out and found that the manure tank was a little big and a little deep. She tried to climb out, but she couldn't climb out. Instead, she kept falling back into the manure tank, splashing more feces and making the stench even stronger. She was in trouble now. Li Chueying wanted to cry, but had no tears. At the same time, she felt nauseous and wanted to vomit. There was nothing in her stomach except for the sour plum juice. She couldn't keep soaking in such a disgusting manure tank forever. At this time, Hua Chunhua was waiting in the yard. After waiting for a while, Li Chueying still didn't come out. She snorted with anger. Why is my second daughter-in-law still in the manure? How much did she eat? Why can't she finish it after such a long time? Bitch. She must have eaten a lot of good food secretly. After scolding, Hua Chunhua sniffed and smelled a stench in the air. Hua Chunhua continued to sniff and found that the stench was getting stronger. What the hell is going on? What is that bitch Li Chueying doing? I've never seen anyone poop so smelly. Everyone in the yard can smell it. The daughter-in-law of the first branch, Feng Zhangxia, walked out of the room and also smelled the smell. She frowned and asked Hua Chunhua, "Mother, what's going on? Why is the yard so smelly?" Hua Chunhua snorted. Why? It's all because of your second sister-in-law. What did second sister-in-law do? Feng Zhangxia asked curiously. She went to the manure tank and didn't come out for a long time. That's fine. Look, how smelly is her poop. It's made the yard. If the neighbors were to see this, they would definitely laugh at them. It must be said that our Zhao family actually produced such a talent. Hearing Li Chueying's words, Feng Zhangxia couldn't help laughing. Her mother's words were so funny. Mom, I have a feeling that something is wrong. If my sister-in-law is using poop, it shouldn't be so smelly. Is something wrong? Feng Zhangxia muttered with confusion. Hearing Feng Zhangxia's words, Hua Chunhua felt that it made sense. Could it be that her second daughter-in-law had an accident in the manure tank? Let's go and have a look. Hua Chunhua said to Feng Zhangxia. Chapter 1400. When they got together, they were shocked by the scene in front of their eyes. The whole cesspool seemed to have exploded, and Li Chueying was in the cesspool at this moment. No wonder there was a stinky smell in the yard. The cesspool must have been destroyed. It was strange that it didn't stink. Feng Zhangxia couldn't help but pinch her nose. She couldn't stand the smell. Hua Chunhua didn't care about Li Chueying at first. Instead, she scolded Li Chueying right in her face. Daughter-in-law, are you crazy? Look at what you've done. The cesspool exploded because of you, and the latrine is now in such a mess. How can our old Zhao family go to the latrine? Mom. Li Chueying curled her lips. She was a little disappointed. Shouldn't she care about her first? Why did she scold her instead? It was just a cesspool. She was a big job. Wasn't it more important than a cesspool? The more Li Chueying thought about it, the more upset she felt. She complained to Hua Chunhua with dissatisfaction. Mom, I didn't do it on purpose. I accidentally fell into the cesspool. Who would do such a thing for no reason? Hua Chunhua snorted. You didn't do it on purpose. Only a stupid person would do such a thing. Ordinary people wouldn't do such a thing. Our old Zhao family is simply suffering from 8 lifetimes of bad luck. I married a B*TCH like you. Seeing Li Chueying in such a miserable state, falling into the dung tank and being covered with feces, not to mention the stinky smell, and being scolded by Hua Chunhua, Feng Zhang felt a trace of pity for Li Chueying for the first time while he felt comfortable in his heart. After all, Li Chueying was indeed a little pitiful now. He defended Li Chueying in front of Hua Chunhua. Mom, she didn't do it on purpose. Forget it. Don't scold her anymore. Hua Chunhua snorted. I don't want to argue with this B*TCH. If I argue with her every day, I'll die of anger. Feng Zhangxia's lips twitched, and she smiled embarrassedly. Mom, you're right, Hua Chunhua then said to Li Chueying in the cesspool. Daughter-in-law, why are you still in the cesspool? Don't you feel disgusted and smelly? Li Chueying looked at Hua Chunhua with grievance. Mom, I want to get up, but I can't. I can't get up from the cesspool. Hua Chunhua looked at Li Chueying speechlessly. You idiot. Daughter-in-law, help her out. If she keeps soaking in the cesspool, the stink won't go away. It'll be a few days. When Feng Zhangxia heard that Hua Chunhua wanted her to help Li Chueying, she pouted unhappily. Mom, you want me to help her? She didn't want to do such a disgusting thing. Seeing that Li Chueying's hands and body were covered with feces, Feng Zhangxia felt even more guilty in her heart. Hua Chunhua rolled her eyes at Feng Zhangxia and said to her, You don't say. Don't tell me you're counting on an old woman like me to help you? Seeing that Hua Chunhua was unhappy, Feng Zhangxia still felt embarrassed. Mom, look, daughter-in-law is like this. If I help her, I'll be smelly too. Chapter 1401. When Feng Zhangxia saw Hua Chunhua's unhappy face, she immediately explained, Mother, what's more, I'm a woman. Even if I pull second sister-in-law, I might not be able to pull her up. I have to find a man to do it. Feng Zhangxia's words made sense. But among the men in the house, the second son was lying on the bed with his buttocks swollen. It was impossible for him to come over and help Hua Chunhua, let alone the other men. Only the eldest son was at home. The others had all gone out to work. Hua Chunhua replied calmly, Then you can ask eldest brother to come here. Feng Zhangxia naturally wouldn't agree when she heard that the boss was called over. How could her man pull Li Chueying? Such a disgusting thing. Even if she moved her toes, her man wouldn't do it. Mom, why do you always ask our family to help you? Why don't you ask other families to help you? You're such a woman. If you can't do it, just say it directly. Why are you wasting time talking about it? Go and see whether our fourth daughter-in-law and third daughter-in-law are back now. If they are, ask them to help second sister-in-law. When Feng Zhangxia heard that this matter could be pushed to someone else, she ran towards the courtyard eagerly. At this time, Li Chueying, who was in the dung tank, was even more disappointed. She finally saw clearly what kind of people old Zhao's family was. Men were not good. They went out to find other women, and their mother-in-law protected their son. Not only that, they worked themselves to death every day, but they didn't get any praise. Anyway, they were all heartless. She was so miserable, but no one came to help her. It seemed that she was nothing in the eyes of these people. They probably wouldn't care even if she died. The more Li Chueying thought about it, the more disappointed she became. After Feng Zhangxia ran to the yard, she was lucky. Qian Zhaodate and Liang Jinqiao came back together. Upon seeing the two of them, Feng Zhangxia said excitedly, Third sister-in-law, fourth sister-in-law, you're home. It's good that you're home. Seeing Feng Zhangxia's anxious look, Liang Jinqiao asked, Sister-in-law, what's wrong? Is something the matter? Feng Zhangxia patted her thigh and said, Of course something big happened. You don't know that your sister-in-law fell into a cesspool. Upon hearing that Li Chueying had fallen into the cesspool, Qian Zhoujing and Liang Jinqiao's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. They stared at each other for a while. How did he fall into the manure tank? One had to know that under normal circumstances, such a possibility simply did not exist. What kind of accident had happened? Feng Zhangxia hurriedly called out to Qian Hongxia and Liang Jinqiao. What are you two waiting for? Hurry up and get your sister-in-law out of the water. Don't let her soak in the water for too long. She will stink. Only then did Qian Zhoujing and Liang Jinqiao come back to their senses. They opened their mouths and hurriedly responded. Then, they followed Feng Zhangxia to the cesspool. When they arrived at the cesspool and saw the scene inside, Qian Zhoujing and Liang Jinqiao were also shocked. They felt that Li Chueying was really too pitiful. Compared to Hua Chunhua and Feng Zhangxia, Liang Jinqiao asked Li Chueying with concern, "Sister-in-law, how are you? Are you okay?" Chapter 1402. Li Chueying was very touched by Liang Jinqiao's and Qian Zhouzi's concern for her. The rest of old Zhao's family didn't care about her, but these two sisters-in-law were concerned about her. Li Chueying's nose twitched. She shook her head and said, "It's nothing serious. I'm just a little smelly. I can't get up from the dung." Liang Jinqiao stepped forward and said, "Second sister-in-law, let me help you up. It's not good for you to stay in the dung." Qian Zhouzi also stepped forward and said, "Yes, second sister-in-law, let us help you up." Li Chueying's nose twitched again. She was touched. Her second and third sisters-in-law were good people, unlike her eldest sister-in-law and her mother, who were both heartless. Li Chueying looked gratefully at Liang Jinqiao and Qian Zhouzi and said, "Third sister-in-law, fourth sister-in-law, thank you so much." Liang Jinqiao and Qian Zhouzi shook their heads and said, "It's nothing, second sister-in-law. It's what we should do." They couldn't just ignore Li Chueying and let her soak in the dung. After all, she was their sisters-in-law. They were family. They couldn't just leave her alone. Li Chueying was touched. She reached out her hand and handed it over. Liang Jinqiao and Qian Zhouzi pulled Li Chueying out of the dung. After they pulled Li Chueying out, Li Chueying sighed and said, "Third sister-in-law, fourth sister-in-law, you two are the only ones who don't despise me now." Liang Jinqiao and Qian Zhouzi both sighed. They felt that Li Chueying was very pitiful for falling into the dung. How could they despise Li Chueying? Liang Jinqiao comforted her. "Second sister-in-law, don't say any more. You have so much dung on you. It's best to go to the river and wash it. Otherwise, I'm afraid it won't be clean if you wash it at home." Qian Zhouzi agreed. "Yes, second sister-in-law. We don't have enough water at home. It'll be more convenient if you wash it at the river. You must be feeling uncomfortable now. You'll be fine after washing it. I'll get some locust for you. It'll be cleaner. After washing it, you'll smell good." Li Chueying nodded and said, "Okay." In fact, she was thinking the same thing too. Indeed, she couldn't wash it clean at home. Her man was lying on the bed and couldn't move. Who would carry this water for her? It would be better if she went to the river. And when Hua Chunhua saw Li Chueying climb out of the dung, she said in disgust, "Second sister-in-law, you should go to the river and wash it. The stench on you is too pungent. It'll kill you. You can't wash it at home. Otherwise, it'll make the house very smelly." "Yes, mother. Second sister-in-law has to go to the river and wash it properly. Dozens of basins of water at home won't be enough to wash it clean. If the dirty water is poured in the courtyard, it'll be too smelly." Although Hua Chunhua and Feng Zhangxia were telling the truth, their words were very harsh to Li Chueying's ears. Li Chueying's heart sank for a moment, but she didn't say anything. After experiencing this incident, she understood too much. Men were not good people. Her mother-in-law and sister-in-law were also not good people. The only good things in old Zhao's family were the third and fourth concubines. Li Chueying felt a little guilty when she thought about what she had done to the third and fourth concubines. She was so muddle-headed that she couldn't recognize too many things. Chapter 1403. Qian Zhurio couldn't stand it any longer and said to Hua Chunhua, "Mother, don't scold second sister-in-law. She's feeling bad too." Hua Chunhua snorted in her heart. Qian Zhurio tugged at Li Chueying's hand and said to Li Chueying, "Second sister-in-law, let's go wash up by the river." Li Chueying was very touched and nodded in response, "Okay." The few sisters-in-law came out of the latrine together. Qian Zhurio took out some soap and handed it to Li Chueying. She said to Li Chueying, "Second sister-in-law, this soap is from my family. You can use it." Li Chueying took it and thanked her gratefully. "Fourth sister-in-law, thank you. I'll return the soap to you later." Qian Zhurio smiled and said, Second sister-in-law, you don't have to be so polite with me. It's not a big deal. We're family. It's just a little soap. There's no need to be so calculative. Li Chueying shook his head and said, That's not it. Fourth sister-in-law, it's the thought that counts. Although it's just a little thing, you can't be so casual. I'll definitely return it to you later. Seeing Li Chueying's insistence, Qian Zurio couldn't say anything else. She nodded and said, Okay, second sister-in-law. If you want to return it, then return it. It's okay if you don't. Just as Li Chueying was about to leave, Hua Chunhua and Feng Zhangxia followed him to the courtyard. Hua Chunhua said to Li Chueying, Second sister-in-law, you've ruined the latrine. When you're done, you have to come back and clean it up properly. It's so dirty now. How are the others going to use the latrine? Hua Chunhua didn't have any sympathy for Li Chueying's situation. Now, not only did he not care about Li Chueying's situation, but he even said such words. This made Li Chueying even more bitterly disappointed. Faced with Hua Chunhua's slightly arrogant face, Li Chueying didn't have the energy or the mood to argue with Hua Chunhua. At the same time, she knew that she was indeed responsible for what had happened to the manure tank. She nodded and replied, Mother, I understand. Good that you know. It's not that you haven't done anything good. Even the courtyard is smelly because of you. You really can't stay here any longer. Forget it. I'd better go inside. It's too smoky outside. Hua Chunhua said and went into the room. Li Chueying felt very uncomfortable when he saw the disgusted expression on her face. Forget it, forget it. Whatever this old woman said, she would do. Naturally, she wouldn't argue with her. She just felt stifled. Looking at Li Chueying's dejected expression, Qian Zhozha and Liang Jinqiao went forward to comfort her. Liang Jinqiao said, Second sister-in-law, go wash up by the river first. I'll help you clean the manure tank. Li Chueying naturally didn't want to trouble Liang Jinqiao to do this. She hurriedly waved her hand and said, No, 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 third sister-in-law, there's no need. How can I trouble you with such a dirty job? I'll do it myself. Liang Jinqiao smiled. Second sister-in-law, it's okay. You'll be clean after you wash up later. If you come back to clean the manure tank, you'll get dirty again. After I'm done, I'll go wash up. Li Chueying felt that her eyes were a little hazy, as if tears were rolling in her eyes. She was too embarrassed to let Qian Zhozha and Liang Jinqiao see her crying, so she hurriedly swallowed the tears back into her stomach. Chapter 1404. That's enough. Second sister-in-law. Hurry up and go. Li Chueying choked with sobs and hurried towards the river. After Li Chueying's figure disappeared from old Zhao's courtyard, Qian Zhuzha went up to Liang Jinqiao and said to Liang Jinqiao, Third sister-in-law, I feel that second sister-in-law is a little different today. Liang Jinqiao looked at Qian Zhuzha in confusion and asked, Different? Fourth sister-in-law, what do you think is different? Are you saying that second sister-in-law is covered in feces today? Qian Zhuzha hurriedly said, No, no, no. Third sister-in-law, I'm not saying that second sister-in-law looks different. I just feel that second sister-in-law is different today. Is she? Liang Jinqiao pondered for a moment. Why didn't she notice anything different? Third sister-in-law, don't you think that second sister-in-law is much more polite today? If it was in the past, she would definitely be very happy to help us. She would definitely not be courteous to us. But today, second sister-in-law is not only courteous to us, she even thanked us. Qian Zhuzha muttered in front of Liang Jinqiao. Of course, the most important thing was that Li Chueying was not just saying it on the surface. She was being courteous to them from the bottom of her heart and thanked them. After Qian Zhuzha said this, Liang Jinqiao felt that this was indeed the case. Not only that, Li Chueying did not speak much today and her expression was very different from usual. Liang Jinqiao sighed and said, Fourth sister-in-law, do you think that second sister-in-law is in trouble? Otherwise, why would she fall into the latrine pit? I think so. Qian Zhuzha nodded and replied, but we can't ask her about it. If we ask second sister-in-law, she might be even sadder. Okay. Let's not talk about it then. On the other hand, the moment Li Chueying walked out, a foul smell attracted the attention of many people. Walking in the village, it was inevitable to bump into some people. Many people laughed when they saw Li Chueying covered in feces. Look, look. Old Zhao's second daughter-in-law must have fallen into a cesspool. She's covered all over. After someone shouted, the people who wanted to join in the fun hurriedly came over and surrounded Li Chueying. Oh my god, he's really covered in shit. This is the first time I've seen someone fall into a dung tank. Ha ha ha. Are you blind? How could you fall into a dung tank? Yeah, that's too careless. What can we do? Most likely, he broke the deck and fell in. That's not it. Sometimes, when people are unlucky, they will be like this. Everything they do will be unlucky. I think she's been rather miserable these days. Her man cheated on her with another woman, and now she's fallen into a dung tank. Sigh, if it were me with such bad luck, I would definitely get some yellow paper and incense sticks and go to the Temple of Earth to pray. I have to get rid of the bad luck. These people chattered incessantly, which made Li Chueying very annoyed. Hearing the discussions and ridicule of others, Li Chueying felt that his face was burning. Needless to say, after today, he would become the laughingstock of the village. Chapter 1405. The onlookers naturally ignored Li Chueying. They continued to cover their mouths and laugh. Look at her. She fell into the latrine and didn't even let others say anything. If she can't do it, she shouldn't have come out. She came out and was seen by others. Why can't she let others say anything? That's right. Anyway, we all know. It's not a big deal if one more person sees it. It's rare for the village to see something interesting. Why can't we watch it? Facing these villagers, Li Chueying was speechless and helpless. Since these people wanted to see it, she would let them. Li Chueying rolled her eyes and said to the onlookers, Fine, since you want to see it, I'll let you see it to your heart's content. Come closer and have a good look. Saying that, Li Chueying rushed to the onlookers. If they were far away, they would be able to see it. Now that they were close, they could smell the stench and risk being stained by Li Chueying's feces. When the onlookers saw Li Chueying rushing over, they were scared out of their wits and hurriedly ran away. Li Chueying snorted in her heart. These people were indeed despicable. They refused to listen to her and forced her to use a special method. Don't you want to see it? Then let's see it. Why are you running away in fear? Seriously, I didn't let you see it, but you insisted. Now I let you see it, but you don't want to see it. What do you want? Hearing Li Chueying's words, the onlookers frowned and said to Li Chueying, Sister Li, don't you think you're disgusting? You're covered in feces. What should we do if you get dirty when you get close to us? It stinks. The smell is so strong that it stinks me to death. Hey, it's the first time I've smelled something so stinky. Old Zhao's second daughter-in-law is so stinky, but she still dares to come to us. Is she afraid that others don't know how stinky she is? It must be. Li Chueying warned them coldly. Don't talk nonsense. If I see any of you staring at me or talking about me, I'll go up to you and smoke you to death. By the way, I can't guarantee that I didn't dirty your clothes. Li Chueying finished his words. Many people shut their mouths in fear. No one wanted to be covered in feces by Li Chueying. Only a few gossipy women heard Li Chueying's words and said angrily, Why is old Zhao's second daughter-in-law so unreasonable? Why can't she show us? As soon as the man finished speaking, he saw Li Chueying rush over. The woman was so scared that she hurriedly ran away. After Li Chueying's words, no one dared to go up and say anything to Li Chueying. Let's go, let's go. Actually, there's nothing to see here. Yeah, let's go. Stop looking. There's nothing to see here. After Li Chueying's words, the onlookers didn't dare to continue watching. Crazy people were the scariest people these days, and they definitely couldn't be provoked. After the onlookers left, Li Chueying understood what had happened. Chapter 1406. Without the onlookers, Li Chueying felt better and continued to walk forward. Soon, they arrived at the riverside. At this time, there were many people washing by the riverside. Zhao Yun'er was also there. Seeing Li Chueying walking over with feces all over her body, Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but want to laugh. What exactly had his second aunt experienced? She looked so pitiful. However, in Zhao Yun'er's opinion, Li Chueying was not a good person. She didn't have any pity for Li Chueying's experience. Zhao Yun guessed that it was most likely Li Chueying's own death. The fact was similar to Zhao Yun's guess. Li Chueying also realized that her stomach was in pain. She had diarrhea like this. It may be because she stole the third branch's sour plum soup. That soup was cold. It was easy to have diarrhea after drinking too much. Li Chueying was very regretful. Not only had she done something wrong to her third sister-in-law, but she had also caused trouble for herself. Now that she thought about it, it was God's punishment for her. In the future, even if she did this kind of thing, she would never harm the third branch or the fourth branch. She would only target the other heartless people in old Zhao's family. After arriving at the riverside, Zhao Yun just watched the show quietly. The women washing by the riverside had already started to talk about it. Look, what happened to old Zhao's daughter-in-law? Yeah, why is she covered in feces? Haha, she must have fallen into the feces vat. It's the first time I've heard of someone falling into a feces vat. Haha, it's so funny. I guess we'll laugh for a long time. It's the first time I've seen such a thing. How stupid can she be to fall into a feces vat? Haha, I don't know. But looking at her, she'll become famous in our village. Maybe it will spread to other villages. As the saying goes, good news never stays hidden, but bad news travels for 1,000 miles. Later on, old Zhao's second daughter-in-law will definitely be famous within a radius of a few hundred miles. Li Chueying's mouth twitched when she heard the women's laughter. The louder they laughed, the angrier she got. It was a pity that their mouths were grown on other people's mouths, and these people didn't gather in front of her to look at her, so she couldn't make a fuss. Li Chueying's face darkened. He decided to ignore these people. The most important thing was to wash her body clean. Her body was so smelly that she almost couldn't take it anymore. Li Chueying's indifferent reaction made these people feel very bored. What they wanted to see was naturally Li Chueying's embarrassed and vexed expression. The closer Li Chueying got to the river, the more these people covered their noses and said, "It stinks, it stinks." The closer they get to us, the stronger the smell. We can't be smothered. Li Chueying, what do you want to do? Why do you have to walk towards us? Don't you know you stink? Seriously. How can she walk towards us and scold us? If we hide at home, we won't come out. Li Chueying, don't come here. What are you doing here? Go away, go away. Li Chueying was urged by several women in disgust. Chapter 1407. Hearing that Li Chueying was going to take a bath, the women by the river couldn't stay calm. If Li Chueying was going to take a bath under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be a big deal. However, in this situation, the water by the river would be smelly after taking a bath. They were either washing clothes or vegetables. What would they do if the water got dirty? The women by the river stopped Li Chueying and argued with Li Chueying. Li Chueying, you can't take a bath in the river. Exactly. If the water gets dirty, where can we go to take a bath? Li Chueying, this river doesn't belong to only you. If you want to take a bath, go somewhere else. We still have to wash clothes and vegetables. You can't just think about yourself and ignore the rest of us. She was stopped by the women by the river, who didn't allow her to go forward. Li Chueying realized that it wasn't a good idea for her to do so. In addition, the women's cold words and obstruction made Li Chueying give up. If they didn't allow her to take a bath here, she could just go downstream. If she went downstream, it wouldn't affect anyone, so they wouldn't say anything. Then I'll go downstream, Li Chueying murmured, then turned around and left. Li Chueying's back looked lonely, and Li Chueying, who was covered in feces, looked very embarrassed. For some reason, Zhao Yun suddenly felt that Li Chueying was very pitiful. She even sympathized with her. Most importantly, Zhao Yun found that Li Chueying seemed to be different from before. According to Li Chueying's character, shouldn't she argue with these women? Why was she suddenly so nice today? After Li Chueying's back disappeared, the women began to talk about it again. Well, Li Chueying is honest and sensible. If she didn't know what's good for her, I would definitely teach her a lesson. How can she not know what's good for her? It's embarrassing for her. How can she dare to be dishonest? That's true. Since she has done something embarrassing, she shouldn't have come out to make a fool of herself. Of course, if it were us, We wouldn't say anything either. After washing her hands, Zhao Yun didn't continue to listen to the other women's discussion. She took the wooden basin back. Li Chueying went downstream to the river, took off her clothes, and washed them carefully. Luckily, there was no one else downstream, so she didn't have to worry about her naked body. As soon as she took off her clothes, the disgusting smell became stronger. Li Chueying couldn't help but feel a little nauseous. Li Chueying hurriedly floated her clothes in the water. When there was less dirt on them, she rubbed them with her hands and poured some soap on them. The most difficult thing to wash was her own body. She had to wash it thoroughly from top to bottom. She applied a lot of soap and rubbed her clothes repeatedly in the water, but there was still the smell of feces. Li Chueying could only sigh. She estimated that she couldn't wash herself clean. This kind of smell could only be removed after a few days. After washing for about an hour, Li Chueying almost used up all the strength in her body. She slowly climbed out of the water. When she turned around, she found a man staring at her on the shore. Everyone in the village knew this man. He was Lu San. Chapter 1408. You shameless man. How dare you peek at me bathing? I'm going to gouge your eyes out. Bah! Li Chueying spat on the ground as she spoke. Lu San glanced at Li Chueying indifferently and said to Li Chueying, "So what? I didn't come over to see you on purpose. Why don't you take a look at yourself? Who wants to see you?" He had already seen her, and now he said such sarcastic words. Li Chueying was furious. This Lu San was simply taking advantage of her. Then why are you still looking? Shameless man, aren't you afraid of being scolded? Being scolded by Li Chueying, Lu San also lost his temper. You bitch, are you done yet? I think you're ringying. With such a face, which man would like you? Lu San's words pierced Li Chueying's heart. Wasn't her man looking for Widow Qian because she wasn't good-looking? If she was good-looking, it would not be like this. Li Chueying's face revealed a trace of sadness, but Lu San continued to coldly snort and said, "It's simply an eyesore. Now that I've seen it, I feel disgusted. It's better to go look at other little beauties." With that, Lu San prepared to leave. Li Chueying grabbed Lu San very unhappily and said to Lu San, "What are you talking about? You took advantage of her and now you're saying you're the one who suffered losses? What do you want? Hurry up and let go of me, or I won't be polite to you." Li Chueying put her hands on her waist and stared at Lu San angrily. "Won't be polite? Tell me, how are you going to be rude to me? Stinky man, you're shameless. Hey! You're being unreasonable, bitch. I'm giving you face, but you don't want it. Fine. I'll teach you a lesson today. Let's see if you still dare to talk nonsense." With that, Lu San raised his fist and swung it in Li Chueying's direction. Just as Li Chueying was about to dodge, a man suddenly rushed out of the woods. A man hitting a woman. "Where's your face?" a deep and hoarse voice said. Li Chueying's heart trembled slightly. She looked up and glanced at the man who came. He grabbed Lu San's hand with one hand. In front of him, Lu San had no strength to refute at all. Grabbing Lu San was no different from grabbing a chicken. The reason why the man was so strong was because he was tall and sturdy. His curled arms were full of muscles and had a strong sense of strength. This kind of man is strong. Li Chueying sighed in her heart. Li Chueying knew the man who helped Li Chueying. He was Zhao Ping, a bachelor in the village. His ancestors were from the same sect as old Zhao's family. Because his family was poor, he didn't have any land and his house was shabby, so he couldn't get a wife. What he did on a daily basis was hard work. He exerted his strength and developed a body full of muscles. Lu San said to Zhao Ping with displeasure, "It's my business. Mind your own business." Saying that, Lu San continued to struggle. It was a pity that Lu San did not work much and often liked to do things in bed. His body had long been hollowed out and his physique was not good at all. Against Zhao Ping, he could not struggle at all and let Zhao Ping hold him in his hands. "You! Let go of me right now," Lu San said in anger. "You can't. You bully a woman casually. I won't let you go unless you promise not to hurt her." Zhao Ping pointed at Li Chueying. Chapter 1409. Okay, Okay, okay. I promise you, okay? Let go of me. Zhao Ping snorted softly and shook off Lu San's hand. Lu San was thrown out heavily. He staggered and glanced at Zhao Ping unwillingly. Then, he turned around and left. He knew that if an egg smashed a rock, the rock would break. Naturally, he wouldn't touch it again. Seeing Lu San leave in a sorry state, Li Chueying breathed a sigh of relief. Although she didn't argue with Lu San, at least she didn't have to be bullied by Lu San. Are you okay? Zhao Ping asked Li Chueying with concern. Li Chueying looked at the tall and burly Zhao Ping and felt very touched. She shook her head and said with a smile, I'm fine. For so long, there were very few people who helped and protected her. She didn't expect Zhao Ping, who didn't interact much with her, to help her. That's good. As a woman, you should be careful. Next time, don't get involved with Lu San. That man is not to be trifled with. Got it. Thank you for the reminder. Zhao Ping shook his head. You're welcome. I'll leave first. Okay. Looking at Zhao Ping's back, Li Chueying couldn't help but sigh. If only her man could be as good as Zhao Ping. Unfortunately, Zhao Wenxue was definitely not half as good as Zhao Ping. Li Chueying let out a sigh and went back. Seeing Li Chueying come back, Liang Jinqiao came up and said to Li Chueying, Second sister-in-law, are you okay? Li Chueying shook her head and said, I'm fine. I'm done washing up. Okay, I've also cleaned up the latrine for you. Now go change your clothes. You can't be wet. You'll catch a cold. Looking at Liang Jinqiao's concerned eyes, Li Chueying's nose twitched and said, Okay, I'll go change now. Third sister-in-law, thank you so much this time. You've worked hard. All right, second sister-in-law, don't be so courteous with me. Hurry up and change your clothes. Li Chueying nodded. Just as she was about to go in and change, she suddenly thought of something. She stopped in her tracks and stopped. What's wrong, second sister-in-law? Third sister-in-law, I have something to say to you. Liang Jinqiao smiled and said, Second sister-in-law, if you have something to say, just say it. Li Chueying held Liang Jinqiao's hand and sighed. Third sister-in-law, second sister-in-law was muddle-headed in the past and didn't understand many things. Now that I've thought it through, I know who's not nice to me. Third sister-in-law, second sister-in-law used to make things difficult for you. Don't take it to heart. Second sister-in-law won't do it again in the future. Hearing Li Chueying's words, Liang Jinqiao couldn't help but feel a little strange, but more than that, he was shocked and couldn't believe it. If someone else had said this, it would have been normal. But Li Chueying really didn't sound normal. But when he met Li Chueying's eyes, he saw that they were very sincere. Second sister-in-law, what are you talking about? Let the past be the past. People should look forward. Yes, yes. Li Chueying nodded vigorously and responded. Then, she returned to the second branch's room. Liang Jinqiao looked at Li Chueying's back view and muttered in his heart. It seemed that his second sister-in-law was really starting to change for the better. It was naturally a good thing that Li Chueying could change for the better. Originally, relatives should help each other more and not bicker and fuss over every little thing. Chapter 14:10. No one would have thought that Li Chueying's change was because of a tank of dung. It was ridiculous and sad. Liang Jinqiao shook her head and the corners of her mouth curled up slightly. She then followed him into her room. As soon as Li Chueying returned to the second branch's room, Zhao Wenxue scolded Li Chueying. You stinky woman, you have guts. You dare to leave your husband hanging and not listen to him. Your skin is too thick. You need to be taught a lesson, right? If it had been before, Li Chueying might have humbled herself in front of Zhao Wenxue and coaxed Zhao Wenxue. Now she thought it through. Why should she treat Zhao Wenxue well in front of such a heartless man? He then replied to Zhao Wenxue indifferently. Zhao Wenxue, you have to act with some conscience. How can you have the nerve to say such things? Why should I listen to you? Hearing Li Chueying's reply, Zhao Wenxue lost his temper. Fine. Are you trying to piss me off? I'm your husband. Why don't you listen to me? Which woman in the village doesn't listen to her husband? Don't tell me you're the exception? Li Chueying was also unconvinced. Zhao Wenxue. My husband is a man. Are you the same? Ask yourself, are you worthy of me for what you've done? Zhao Wenshui understood that Li Chueying was referring to his affair with widow Qian, so he grumbled unhappily, so what? It's normal for a man to sleep with a woman. Didn't I sleep with widow Qian? Don't people go to brothels to visit prostitutes? At least I didn't do that. Li Chueying snorted. She didn't know why Zhao Wenshui dared to say that. If it were her, she would never say that. Zhao Wenshui, you don't have money. If you did, you would sleep with women in brothels too. I really misjudged you, that's why I married you back then. Zhao Wenshui was infuriated by Li Chueying's words. What was this bitch talking about? Li Chueying, who do you think you are? If you don't listen to me and talk to me like that, I'll divorce you. Zhao Wenshui thought that his words could scare Li Chueying. Unfortunately, to Zhao Wenshui's disappointment, Li Chueying replied with disdain. Fine. Zhao Wenshui. I'm a woman. I'm afraid that I won't be able to get married again. But you. Let's see who will serve you without me. Let's see if your mother is willing to spend money to marry another wife for you. Zhao Wenshui was speechless after being scolded by Li Chueying. Without a doubt, Li Chueying was right. Without Li Chueying, there would be no one to serve him. As for his mother, money was extremely important. If he asked his mother to spend money to marry him, then forget it. He couldn't count on her at all. Zhao Wenshui couldn't help but look at Li Chueying again. He was puzzled. When did his wife become so smart? It wasn't easy for her to think of this. Seeing that Zhao Wenshui was silent, Li Chueying didn't continue to talk to Zhao Wenshui. She opened the closet and found a set of clean clothes to change into. On the other side, Zhao Yun saw a carriage parked in front of her house after she returned with the wooden basin. Chapter 14:11. Why did this fellow come to her place? Zhao Yuner walked over. Helian Chen was already in Zhao Yuner's rundown house, and Mu Lianfeng was attending to him at the side. In the house, Helian Chen sat in front of the table, holding a bowl and drinking from it. As he drank, he praised Mu Lianfeng. Ah Feng, don't say, this thing is really delicious. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile as he explained to Mu Lianfeng, Yuner made it. I knew it. Miss Yuner has a lot of ideas and can always make unexpected things. We can't buy these novel foods even if we spend money. Yes. Mu Lianfeng was even happier when he heard Helian Chen praise Zhao Yuner than when Helian Chen praised him. Hee Ah Feng. You're really lucky. You've eaten a lot of good things by Miss Yuner's side, right? Helian Chen looked at Mu Lianfeng with envy. Mu Lianfeng raised his eyebrows and said with a smile, What do you think? I think so. Ah Feng, it's not that I want to say this, but if I marry a woman like Miss Yuner in the future, I'll be overjoyed, Helian Chen muttered. Mu Lianfeng curled his lips and replied indifferently, This kind of fortune isn't something that everyone can get, so you can only think about it. Helian Chen glared angrily at Mu Lianfeng and said to Mu Lianfeng, Ah Feng, can't you speak properly? Do you have to make people sad before you're happy? Mu Lianfeng held back his laughter and didn't say anything else. Helian Chen swallowed the bowl of sour plum soup and begged Mu Lianfeng, Ah Feng, look, I've already finished it. Mu Lianfeng replied faintly. Feng, can you help me get some more? Mu Lianfeng frowned and said to Helian Chen, You've already drunk 2 bowls. You can't drink any more. If you drink any more, you'll have a stomachache. However, Helian Chen did not think so. Ah Feng, don't lie to me. It's hard to say if my stomach is upset or not. My stomach is good, so it's fine to eat cold things. I think you're saying that because you can't bear to let me drink it, right? Mu Lianfeng looked at Helian Chen speechlessly. How heartless did he have to be to say such things? Moreover, Helian Chen was already an adult, but he was like a child and was extremely greedy. Mu Lianfeng wanted to laugh at Helian Chen, but he also felt very helpless. Ah Chen, there's a saying that goes enough is enough. Don't you understand? Ah Feng, don't be so stingy. Give me another bowl. Mu Lianfeng looked at Helian Chen acting coquettishly and could not help but say, How old are you? This has nothing to do with age. Who said that you have to keep your mouth shut when you're old? Mu Lianfeng realized that he could not continue to communicate with Helian Chen. Helian Chen shamelessly continued to tug at Mu Lianfeng's sleeve and begged, "Ah Feng, I definitely won't be able to drink it when I go back. How about this? Give me another bowl. If I drink another bowl, I promise I won't drink it again." Looking into Helian Chen's pleading eyes, Mu Lianfeng rolled his eyes at Helian Chen and said to Helian Chen, "Ah Chen, you said the same thing just now. Do you think I'll believe you?" Helian Chen felt very embarrassed after being exposed by Mu Lianfeng. Chapter 14:12. Mu Lianfeng felt a little wronged. Heartless people were like this. Those with a conscience would definitely not say such things. "All right, you can say whatever you want. I don't care." "You." Helian Chen glared at Mu Lianfeng angrily and continued to mutter that Mu Lianfeng was too petty. Zhao Yuner could not help but shake her head when she saw Helian Chen's appearance. When a man acted coquettishly, he was even more powerful than a woman. Zhao Yuner could not stand Helian Chen's tone when he spoke to Mu Lianfeng. Fortunately, Helian Chen was a man. If Helian Chen was a woman, she would definitely not let Mu Lianfeng and Helian Chen have too much contact. After all, women who acted coquettishly were the scariest. Men were easily charmed by women who acted coquettishly. Zhao Yuner walked into the house and smiled at Mu Lianfeng. "Since she wants to drink, you can give it to her. It's not like our house doesn't have it." When Helian Chen saw Zhao Yuner come in, he said with a smile, "Ah, Miss Yuner is back." Zhao Yuner nodded lightly and responded. Helian Chen hurriedly said, "Ah Feng, look, Miss Yuner is still the best. She's not as petty as you." The corner of Mu Lianfeng's mouth twitched. He should not have been soft-hearted and cared about Helian Chen's life and death. So he said, "Since you want to eat, you can eat. I won't stop you. But if your stomach hurts, don't blame me for not reminding you." Helian Chen hurriedly nodded and replied, I know. Other people have stomachaches, but I won't." Mu Lianfeng was speechless. A dead pig was not afraid of boiling water. This Helian Chen probably would not listen no matter what he said. Since that was the case, then forget it. If he said too much, it would only make people despise him. Why should he do such a thing? "Well, since you said so, then go ahead and drink," Mu Lianfeng said helplessly. Zhao Yuner took the bowl that Helian Chen had drunk from and said to Helian Chen, "I'll go get it." Helian Chen was flattered as he looked at Zhao Yuner. He immediately nodded and said, Sure. Thank you, Miss Yuner." Zhao Yuner shook her head, the corner of her mouth slightly raised, and said with a smile, "You're welcome." Humph. Since they said that Mu Lianfeng had no conscience, then let Helian Chen drink well, drink more. When the time came for her stomach to hurt, she would know who was the heartless one. Mu Lianfeng caught a hint of craftiness in Zhao Yuner's eyes and understood that Zhao Yuner probably had some bad intentions again. Sometimes, his Yuner still made people feel that she was very cute when she was up to mischief. Zhao Yuner quickly scooped a bowl of sour plum soup and placed it on the table, beckoning Helian Chen to drink. Helian Chen's face was filled with unconcealable excitement and happiness. He held the sour plum soup that Zhao Yuner gave him and drank it happily. Seeing this, Zhao Yuner's smile became even brighter. Drink. You'll probably have a stomachache soon." She specially added a few more ice cubes. After Helian Chen finished the bowl of sour plum soup, he licked the corner of his mouth as if he had not had enough and used his long sleeve to wipe the corner of his mouth. "Miss Yuner, this is delicious," Helian Chen exclaimed with a smile in front of Mu Lianfeng. "Young Master Helian, do you still want to drink? Do you want me to scoop some more for you?" Zhao Yuner's enthusiasm and politeness made Helian Chen a little embarrassed. Chapter 14:13. Helian Chen looked at Mu Lianfeng and asked for Mu Lianfeng's opinion, as if he was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would not agree. If it was just now, Mu Lianfeng would probably stop Helian Chen. After knowing Zhao Yuner's intention, he replied indifferently, "If you want to drink, then drink. I won't really stop you and not let you drink." Helian Chen laughed cheekily and said, "Ah Feng, it's good that you said that. If you don't allow it, I definitely won't drink it." Mu Lianfeng's mouth twitched. This guy, who was he trying to fool? Probably only a ghost would believe him if he said this, right? Alright. Alright. So much nonsense. How can I not know what you're thinking? Helian Chen felt like he was seen through by Mu Lianfeng. This friend who grew up with him was different. He could fool anyone, but he could not fool Mu Lianfeng. Helian Chen hurriedly handed the bowl to Zhao Yun-er and said to Zhao Yun-er, Miss Yun-er, I'll have to trouble you to get me another bowl. Zhao Yun-er said with a smile, It's fine. You can drink as many bowls as you want. Anyway, I have a lot at home and can't finish it. With Zhao Yun-er's words and Mu Lianfeng's agreement, Helian Chen prepared to drink without worry. Very quickly, Zhao Yun-er got another bowl for Helian Chen. Helian Chen gulped and drank the big bowl. Seeing that Helian Chen finished drinking, Zhao Yun-er continued to fill Helian Chen's bowl. After Helian Chen drank 3 more bowls, he let out a loud burp and could not drink anymore. I'm full, I'm satisfied. Miss Yun-er, you don't have to buy more for me. Thank you so much. You're welcome. It's fine as long as you're done drinking. Our family doesn't lack this stuff. If young Master Helian wants to drink it, we'll definitely give it to young Master Helian. Otherwise, wouldn't young Master Helian say that we're too stingy? We can't even bear to part with such a small thing. Helian Chen smiled embarrassedly. That won't happen. I know that Miss Yun-er is very generous. At least, she's much more generous than Ah Feng. Zhao Yun-er also smiled faintly. She felt that Helian Chen's appearance was a little cute. Well, since you've finished drinking and Yun-er is back, you can tell me why you're here today. Mu Lianfeng said. Helian Chen patted his head and finally remembered. Indeed, he should get down to business. After being interrupted, he immediately forgot the purpose of his visit today. Thus, he hurriedly gestured for Zhao Yun-er to sit down and said to Zhao Yun-er, Miss Yun-er, please take a seat. Zhao Yun-er nodded. After sitting down, she said to Helian Chen, Young Master Helian, what's the matter? Miss Yun-er, I drank your tea last time and felt that it was very good, so I wanted to ask if you're still selling this tea? Zhao Yun-er nodded and replied, Of course I'm buying it. Then how much do you have here? How much does young Master Helian want? I'll take as much as you have. Zhao Yun-er raised her brows. After staring at Helian Chen, she said to Helian Chen, Young Master Helian, are you drinking it for yourself? If you're drinking it for yourself, you shouldn't need much, right? Zhao Yun-er hit the nail on the head. Helian Chen smiled and said, To be honest, Miss Yun-er, I naturally won't drink this tea alone. I just feel that this is a good thing and want to give it to someone as a gift. Miss Yun-er also knows that the rarer something is, the more precious it is. It's precisely those things that others haven't seen before that appear very precious. Chapter 14:14. Young Master Helian, if you drink it alone, I can give you some. But if you give it away everywhere, I'm afraid that I don't have enough tea leaves for you. Hearing Zhao Yun-er's words, Helian Chen's eyes revealed a trace of disappointment. He lamented to Zhao Yun-er, Miss Yun-er, why don't you have more of such good stuff? Can't you get more? Zhao Yun-er also said helplessly, I want more, but unfortunately, I can't. There's nothing I can do. All right then, Miss Yun-er. Then I won't give it away. I'll drink it myself. Zhao Yun-er nodded. All right, I can give you 2 caddies. Drink it sparingly. It should be enough to drink for a while. Just 2 caddies. Miss Yun-er, can you give me more? Helian Chen stared at Zhao Yun-er with pleading eyes and blinked. Zhao Yun-er chuckled. Young Master Helen, I'll give you 2 caddies. It's already a lot. The other customers are also waiting for it. What she needed to do now was to expand the market. The goods in her hands would definitely not be distributed to just one person. There were so many customers waiting. She could not let them wait forever. All right then. Helian Chen's disappointed expression made one's heart ache. Zhao Yun-er curled her lips helplessly. She had no choice. She could only do this now. When the tea leaves planted on her barren mountain could be harvested, the amount of tea leaves produced would naturally be more. Young Master Helian, I'll go get it for you. Zhao Yun-er said and took out 2 caddies. She directly put them in a bag and handed it to Helian Chen. Young Master Helian, these tea leaves can be placed in a dry place. Don't let them get wet. Got it, Miss Yun-er. There's one more thing I want to discuss with you. Zhao Yun-er looked at Helian Chen with some confusion and said, Young Master Helian, what else do you want? Miss Yun-er, there's still some sour plum soup left in your house. Can I bring some back? After Helian Chen finished speaking, he suddenly felt that he had drunk enough. If he were to ask Zhao Yun-er to bring some back for him, it would seem a little unkind. He hurriedly corrected himself. Miss Yun-er, this is a rare thing. You don't have to give it to me for free. I will pay for it. I don't care how much it costs. Since young Master Helian likes to drink it, I'll pack some for you. You don't have to pay. After all, you are Mu Lianfeng's friend, so if I haggle over such a small matter with you, wouldn't it make me seem too petty? Helian Chen smiled. Miss Yun-er can't say that. Although I'm Ah Feng's friend, the things you have here are all good and not ordinary. Since Yun-er says so, I won't charge you for today's sour plum soup. If you want to drink it in the future, I'll give you 50 copper coins for a pot of sour plum soup. 50 copper coins was not a small amount, but for such a rare thing the price was not very expensive. If she went out to buy it in the future, it would be the same price. To the rich Helian Chen, 50 copper coins was even less of a problem. Helian Chen nodded and agreed without hesitation. Then we'll do as Miss Yun-er says. All right then. Zhao Yun-er readily entered the kitchen and filled a pot for Helian Chen. After dividing it up, there was only a little bit left in the large pot of sour plum soup. At night, their family could settle it by drinking a small bowl each. Helian Chen, who received the sour plum soup, was very happy. Chapter 14-15. In this kind of weather, the Helian residents had already made some ice to make some iced meals. Not long after Helian Chen took the sour plum soup from Zhao Yun-er, he felt a sharp pain in his stomach. Zhao Yun-er hurriedly asked, Young Master Helian, what's wrong? Mu Lianfeng also glanced at Helian Chen. Seeing that Helian Chen's expression was a little distorted, he said, Ah Chen, is your stomach hurting? Although this was the truth, Helian Chen thought about how Mu Lianfeng advised him not to drink too much just now, but he said those words. Now that the truth was like this, it was a slap to his face for what he said just now. His face flushed slightly. Helian Chen felt a little embarrassed. For his own face, even if his stomach hurt, Helian Chen still pretended that nothing was wrong. He said to Mu Lianfeng, No, Ah Feng, what are you talking about? I just drank too much and felt uncomfortable. However, Mu Lianfeng did not believe Helian Chen's words. He said with a faint smile, Is that so? Of course. All right, since your stomach doesn't hurt, then it's fine. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Helian Chen. His gaze seemed to have a deeper meaning. Zhao Yun-er also pursed her lips and snickered. She knew that Helian Chen was trying to be brave. It was probably the sour plum soup that he drank into his stomach that caused Helian Chen to have a stomachache. Helian Chen controlled the expression on his face and tried his best to hold it in. Unfortunately, his stomach was still very noisy. That sharp pain caused Helian Chen's forehead to break out in cold sweat. When Mu Lianfeng saw this, he asked Helian Chen with concern, Ah Chen, your face is covered in sweat. Why is it so hot? Helian Chen touched his forehead. There was indeed quite a lot of sweat. He smiled awkwardly at Mu Lianfeng and said, Ah Feng, I'm too hot. This weather is really hot to the point of death. Look, there are so many sweat beads on my forehead because of the heat. Is that so? Of course, the weather is really getting hotter and hotter. Helian Chen muttered to himself. Seeing Helian Chen like this, Mu Lianfeng did not continue to say anything. Helian Chen could not hold it in anymore. He said goodbye to Mu Lianfeng. Ah Feng, it's getting late. I'll go back first. I'll come and see you next time when I have time. Just as Helian Chen wanted to rush out, Zhao Yun-er pulled Helian Chen and said, Chen, it's only been a short while and you're in a hurry to go back. It's not easy for you to come. What do you mean you don't want to stay? Why don't we leave after dinner? That way, we can have a good chat. Helian Chen looked at Mu Lianfeng with a bitter face and said to him, Feng, although I want to chat with you for a while longer, I'm afraid that it will be too late after dinner. It won't be convenient for me to go back. Mu Lianfeng ignored Helian Chen's refusal and chuckled. Then don't eat dinner. You can always sit for a while more. Helian Chen furrowed his brows. There was a feeling of suffering that he could not describe. Feng, let's talk about it next time. Don't tell me you have something urgent. After asking, Mu Lianfeng muttered to himself again. I don't think so. If you had something urgent, you wouldn't have come today. Continue to sit for a while more. Don't be in a hurry to leave. Chapter 14:16. All right, you don't have to say any more. Stay a little longer. When Helian Chen saw that Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yuner were echoing each other, Helian Chen could not refuse at all. He could only nod and say, all right. Then I'll stay a little longer before leaving. Although Helian Chen stayed, sitting on the chair was as if he was doing acupuncture. It was abnormally uncomfortable. His stomach was tossing and turning. He simply felt like he was better off dead. However, on the surface, he pretended that nothing had happened. Helian Chen was very tired in his heart. At the same time, he was very regretful. Why did he not listen to Mu Lianfeng's words? If he had listened to Mu Lianfeng, it would definitely not have led to such a situation and end up like this. After his stomach hurt for a while, Helian Chen realized that he wanted to sh*t. What am I going to do now? He could still barely endure the pain, but if he wanted to sh*t, there was no way he could hold it in at all. Helian Chen sat on the stool and rubbed his butt. In order to hold the thing in his stomach back, he could only clamp it into his anus. Mu Lianfeng and Helian Chen chatted intermittently. However, Helian Chen did not listen to Mu Lianfeng's words at all and answered intermittently. Seeing that Helian Chen was absent-minded, Mu Lianfeng knew that Helian Chen must be feeling very uncomfortable holding it in. He smiled and said to Helian Chen, Chen, you look very uncomfortable. Helian Chen met Mu Lianfeng's probing eyes and replied nervously, Is that so? Of course. I'm fine. Helian Chen was still very stubborn. As soon as he said this, his anus could not hold it in anymore and let out a loud fart. An unpleasant smell suddenly came from the room, and even the air became silent. Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng hurriedly covered their noses. Helian Chen, on the other hand, seemed very embarrassed. Most of the time, they felt embarrassed. Seeing Helian Chen's embarrassed look, Mu Lianfeng could only say, Chen, if your stomach doesn't feel well, you should go to the latrine. Helian Chen's face immediately turned red. He looked at Mu Lianfeng, then looked at Zhao Yuner who was stifling her laughter. He wished he could find a hole to crawl into. Go quickly, it won't be good if you get it in your pants. Mu Lianfeng's tone carried a trace of teasing, causing Helian Chen's face to turn red. He didn't know what to say. However, Mu Lianfeng was right about one thing. If she continued to hold it in, it was likely that she would really defecate into her pants. Although it was a little embarrassing, compared to the pain he was in now, Helian Chen decided that it was better to go and take a dump. If it ended up in his pants, there was absolutely nothing more embarrassing than this. Who knew how Mu Lianfeng would laugh at him when he turned around? After thinking about it, Helian Chen hurriedly nodded and said, Okay, but where is the latrine? Zhao Yuner pointed to the back of the room and said, It's behind. You'll see it when you go there. Helian Chen nodded heavily and rushed out of the room like the wind. It was not until Helian Chen rushed out and disappeared without a trace that Mu Lianfeng muttered, Yuner, this is the result of suffering because of your pride. Zhao Yuner replied with a smile, Exactly. Sigh, I already reminded him not to drink too much of this thing, but he just didn't listen. Chapter 14:17. Zhao Yuner's tone was a little teasing and doting. Compared to Helian Chen, Mu Lianfeng was indeed much more obedient. Previously, when she said that he could not drink too much, Mu Lianfeng did not drink, unlike Helian Chen. He was very greedy, like a child. It would be strange if he did not have a stomachache after drinking so many bowls alone. Of course. How can I not listen to Yuner's words? That's why I said you're obedient. Zhao Yuner suddenly thought of something and said to Mu Lianfeng, Helian Chen didn't bring toilet paper. Mu Lianfeng was slightly stunned when he heard Zhao Yuner's words. He's a young master from a rich family. He definitely won't be used to using a wooden stick. Mu Lianfeng, you'd better send him some toilet paper. Mu Lianfeng hesitated and confirmed with Zhao Yun. Yun, did I send him? Yes, if not you, who else would send him? Am I supposed to do it? She was a woman, and Helian Chen was a man. It was definitely inappropriate for her to send him toilet paper. Mu Lianfeng suddenly remembered that this scene was very familiar. At that time, it was Zhao Yun who sent him a finger, which made it very awkward. Thinking about it again, Zhao Yun was a woman. If she really sent it to Helian Chen and saw something that he should not have seen, the one who would be the most upset should be him. Mu Lianfeng hurriedly said, Okay, Yun I'll send him some toilet paper. Okay. Zhao Yun responded. Helian Chen, who was in the latrine, was very sore from pooping. Fortunately, he took off his pants in time. If he was a step later, it would probably be in his pants. However, Mu Lianfeng, who was in pain for a moment, couldn't take it anymore when he saw the environment inside the latrine. Compared to his home, this was like heaven and earth. If it wasn't for the other discomfort, he definitely wouldn't be able to go to the toilet in this environment. Other than the bad environment, it was also very smelly. Helian Chen could only pinch his nose to prevent himself from smelling this smell. Helian Chen thought about how Mu Lianfeng, a young master, also had to use the toilet in this kind of environment every day. He couldn't help but sympathize with Mu Lianfeng. In order to be with Zhao Yun, Mu Lianfeng had really given up a lot. He could even live such a bitter life and still felt happy every day. Perhaps everyone had their own aspirations, and everyone had their own preferred way of life. What kind of life Mu Lianfeng wanted was naturally not something she could decide. Helian Chen thought as he squatted in the pit. After pulling out the thing in his stomach, he didn't feel that much pain. He felt a lot more comfortable, and his body suddenly relaxed a lot. After a while, Mu Lianfeng came to the latrine and called out to Helian Chen. Helian Chen replied, Ah Feng, why did you call me? You forgot to bring toilet paper. I brought some over for you. Mu Lianfeng explained. When Mu Lianfeng said this, Helian Chen realized that he really didn't bring toilet paper. However, it wasn't that he forgot to bring toilet paper, but that he didn't have the habit of bringing toilet paper. These things were all prepared in his own latrine. When he went to the toilet, there was toilet paper inside, so he didn't have to specially bring it. He glanced at Zhao Yun's latrine. It was so simple, so it was normal that there was no toilet paper inside. Seeing Mu Lianfeng in front of him, Helian Chen called out to Mu Lianfeng. Ah Feng, don't open the door. Just pass it to me like this. Chapter 14:18. When Mu Lianfeng saw Helian Chen's outstretched hand, the corners of his lips curled up slightly. He knew that Helian Chen was shy. He handed the paper in his hand to Helian Chen and did not forget to tease him. Ah Chen, we grew up together and are very familiar with each other's bodies. Don't tell me you're still shy in front of me and afraid that I'll see your butt? When Mu Lianfeng finished speaking, Helian Chen's face reddened and he muttered to Mu Lianfeng, Ah Feng, you can't compare like this. The past is the past, and now is the present. We were still young in the past. Now that we're so old, don't you feel awkward and uncomfortable when you see each other's butts? We're two grown men. Haha, actually you can't say that. Ah Chen, I know you're shy. Why is it that the way you speak is becoming more and more annoying? Helian Chen muttered. Did he have to let him see his butt? Helian Chen shivered unconsciously when he thought about it. He felt strange in his heart. Haha, then I'll leave first. Mu Lianfeng chuckled and left the latrine pit. The smell beside the latrine pit was a little strong and really made people feel uncomfortable. Helian Chen pinched his nose and hurriedly settled the things in his stomach. If he stayed in this latrine pit for too long, his legs would not be able to hold on. After he was done, Helian Chen got up from the latrine pit, picked up his pants, and walked out of the latrine pit. He breathed in the fresh air outside and instantly felt much better. Helian Chen hurried to Zhao Yun's front yard. Zhao Yun scooped a ladle of water and washed Helian Chen. After washing his hands, Helian Chen went to Zhao Yun's room and sat down on the chair. His body was a little limp and it was much more comfortable sitting on the chair. Sitting on the chair, Helian Chen heaved a few deep breaths. He felt like he had been reborn and it was extremely refreshing. Zhao Yun saw Helian Chen like this and said with a smile, Young Master Helian, Mu Lianfeng reminded you for your own good. Look, your stomach is hurting now, right? Helian Chen's face blushed slightly and said, yes. Although he did not want to admit it, Helian Chen had to admit it. He's a heartless person. No matter what others say, he won't listen. Mu Lianfeng sighed. Helian Chen glared at Mu Lianfeng. Ah Feng, don't talk to me. Really? Mu Lianfeng knew that Lianchen was embarrassed, so he stopped talking. Helian Chen rested for a while and did not stay at Zhao Yun'er's house to eat. Instead he went back. Watching Helian Chen leave, Mu Lianfeng smiled and joked with Zhao Yun'er. Yun'er, you contributed a lot to him being like this today. Zhao Yun'er knew that Mu Lianfeng was referring to the matter of her feeding Helian Chen sour plum soup, so she smiled and replied, that's right. He thinks that you're stingy. For the sake of your reputation, I have to help you explain it clearly. If he doesn't listen to this normal explanation, he will naturally know the result. He won't think that you're really stingy, right? Mu Lianfeng realized that he could not win against Zhao Yun'er, so he could only nod and say, yes, yes, yes. Yun'er, you're right. Next time, you don't have to say too much if others don't like to hear it. Instead, you won't end up well in the end. You can only let them suffer and they'll know. Chapter 14:19. Zhao Yun'er suddenly thought of what Helian Chen said just now. Although he didn't say it directly, he was complaining that her latrine was too broken and dirty. Zhao Yun'er could only make do with this current latrine for a while. Although she was indeed not used to using a dirty latrine, she didn't need to repair it. However, there was no need to repair the latrine pit now. After all, the latrine pit here wouldn't take long. Once her new house was built, she would have to fix the latrine in her house properly. After all, after this place was built, she would feel better if she could poop. If it was too dirty, she would feel abnormally uncomfortable every time she went to the toilet. As long as she could avoid going to the toilet, she wouldn't hold it in. Unfortunately, there was no flush toilet in this era. Basically, they used a large vat with 2 planks on it. How great would it be if I could get a flush toilet for my living room? Zhao Yun'er thought about it and wondered if she could design one. There were actually quite a lot of skilled craftsmen in this era. As long as she designed a flush toilet, it wouldn't be difficult for them to make a flush toilet according to the discovery of firing ceramics. However, this flush toilet didn't seem to be easy to design. She had seen the principle and design drawings before, but it had been too long and she had forgotten a little. Zhao Yun'er patted her head and tried hard to recall. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er was thinking about something, Mu Lianfeng asked curiously, Yun'er, what are you thinking about? Zhao Yun'er waved her hand and explained, nothing big. I'm just thinking about something. If I can make it, we'll be comfortable in the latrine in the future. If the feces could be discharged in time, there wouldn't be any smell in the latrine. After hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but be curious about what Zhao Yun'er was thinking about. Zhao Yun'er had a lot of ideas, many of which she had never heard of before. This time, she might be able to come up with something novel again. Let me try, Zhao Yun'er said. She went to the table, took a pen and paper, and started to write and draw. Mu Lianfeng stood aside and didn't disturb Zhao Yun'er. She quietly watched Zhao Yun'er draw something. However, when she saw the thing on the paper in front of Zhao Yun'er, Mu Lianfeng couldn't understand it. She had never heard of what Zhao Yun'er drew, let alone recognize it. Moreover, this thing had a strange shape and was very strange. Zhao Yun'er frowned and pondered as she drew, as if she was recalling something. She couldn't stop muttering, no, this isn't right, this isn't right. Could it be like this? It doesn't seem right. What's the problem? Zhao Yun'er supported her chin with her hand and stared at the drawing paper in a daze. Mu Lianfeng quietly accompanied Zhao Yun'er and didn't speak. She was afraid that she would disturb Zhao Yun'er after she spoke. Seeing Zhao Yun'er in deep thought, that serious look of thinking was very cute. Zhao Yun'er suddenly thought of something and began to draw on the drawing paper again. After a while, a strange thing was drawn on the drawing paper, and there was a detailed composition. Mu Lianfeng glanced at it and asked, Yun'er, what are you drawing? A toilet bowl. A toilet bowl. Mu Lianfeng was very confused. He had never heard of this term. What's the use of it? Chapter 14:20. Ah! Mu Lianfeng was obviously stunned, as if he still did not understand what Zhao Yun meant. Zhao Yun could only patiently explain. The flush toilet was indeed a great invention of the 21st century. In ancient times, even emperors could not enjoy it. After listening to Zhao Yun's explanation, Mu Lianfeng was very surprised that there was such a thing in the world. He had not seen it with his own eyes, so he could not imagine what it looked like. However, seeing Zhao Yun's excited look, it seemed like she was looking forward to it. Go back and ask the shop in town. Since porcelain can be made, this thing should be able to be made. Yes, yes. Go and try it. Mu Lianfeng replied. Zhao Yun touched her chin and fell silent. There was a flush toilet, but no running water. In this era, it would be difficult to get running water. Fortunately, even if there was no running water, they could just get a bucket in the toilet and scoop some water to flush it. Okay, I'll go to Yang City in 2 days if I have time. Okay. In the next few days, nothing troublesome happened. The days were very comfortable, and Mu Lianfeng also brought good news. The emperor had issued an edict to cancel Mu Lianfeng and Murong Shuang's engagement. At least in terms of marriage, the two of them did not have to worry anymore. The weather was getting hotter, and Zhao Yun's new clothes were almost ready. That afternoon, after she was done with her work, she cooked and sat in front of the bed. After asking Mu Lan for advice, she fumbled around and made 2 big underpants. Mu Lianfeng sat at the table and taught Daodu how to read. Zhao Yun handed the big underpants to Mu Lianfeng and said to Mu Lianfeng, "Here, Mu Lianfeng, this underpants is for you. You can wear it when it's really hot." Mu Lianfeng took it. He had never seen this thing made by Zhao Yun before. With a puzzled expression she asked Zhao Yun, "Yun, can this thing be worn?" "Of course you can." How cool was that? After taking a shower at night, he could just wear this pair of underwear. It's fine for you men to show your upper bodies, unlike us women. Mu Lianfeng was amused by Zhao Yun. What did he mean by it was fine to show his upper body? They were usually very conservative and had never seen a man with his upper body exposed. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng was laughing without explaining why he was laughing, Zhao Yun glared at Mu Lianfeng and asked, "What are you laughing at? What's so funny?" "Yun, it's nothing. If you make it for me personally, I will naturally wear it. But, when the time comes, will I sleep in a room alone, or will I sleep with you?" At first, Zhao Yun didn't understand what Mu Lianfeng meant by asking this question. After she reacted, she understood. Mu Lianfeng was hinting that if he only wore a pair of underwear and didn't wear any clothes on his upper body, she would see it. Zhao Yun blushed slightly. "Before we get married, you will naturally have a room to yourself, and Daodu and I will share a room." Mu Lianfeng regretted asking. If he didn't ask and shamelessly slept with Zhao Yun, it would be quite good. "Mother, father has new clothes. Does Daodu have any?" Daodu put down his pen and looked at Zhao Yun expectantly. "Of course. Others may not have any, but Daodu will definitely have some." Chapter 14:21. But Daodu's clothes aren't ready yet. You'll have to wait a few days. "It's okay, mother. As long as Daodu has it, it's fine." Daodu is so obedient. The reason why Daodu's clothes had to wait a few days was because Zhao Yun wasn't the one making them herself. She didn't dare to compliment her handiwork. Mu Lianfeng's underwear was very simple and rough, so it was okay to wear it. Daodu's clothes, on the other hand, had to be sewn properly. Zhao Yun didn't trouble Yang Jinqiao, so Mu Lan took on this task. Mu Lan's needlework was good, so she thought that Daodu's new clothes would be very good. Mu Lianfeng was very curious about the underwear made by Zhao Yun, so he held it in his hands and studied it. When Zhao Yun saw this, she quickly snatched the underwear back from Mu Lianfeng's hands. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun with some confusion. "Yun, isn't this for me?" "Yes, it's for you. But why are you staring at it like that?" "Because I think that Yun's clothes are very novel. I've never seen it before, so I'm curious." The weather isn't hot yet. I'll help you keep it first. When it gets hot, I'll take it out for you to wear." With that, Zhao Yun quickly stuffed the 2 pairs of underwear into the cabinet. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun'er's reaction and felt puzzled, but at the same time, he couldn't help but laugh. When he saw Zhao Yun'er's red cheeks, Mu Lianfeng seemed to understand something. Is Zhao Yun'er shy? Is it because of the underwear? Just as Zhao Yun'er was feeling embarrassed, Li Chueying's voice suddenly came from outside. Yun'er girl, Zhao Yun'er was puzzled. Why did Li Chueying come looking for her? The two of them had nothing to do with each other, and she had never seen Li Chueying come over before. However, in Zhao Yun'er's impression, wherever Li Chueying appeared, nothing good would happen. She wondered if he was here to cause trouble again. Therefore, when Zhao Yun'er went out, she frowned and looked a little unhappy. When she arrived in front of Li Chueying, she said unhappily to Li Chueying, "Second aunt, why did you come looking for me today?" Zhao Yun'er's attitude wasn't very good, but Li Chueying wasn't angry. Instead, he smiled at Zhao Yun'er and said to Zhao Yun'er, "Yun'er girl, second aunt didn't come looking for you for anything important. I just wanted to give you something." As Li Chueying spoke, he handed over a vegetable basket in his hand. Zhao Yun'er's face was full of confusion. She didn't know what Li Chueying meant. There were 10 eggs in the basket. "Second aunt, what are you doing?" "Yun'er girl, these 10 eggs are for you. You and your mother have helped our family a lot. We don't have anything good, so we just sent a few eggs over," Li Chueying explained. Zhao Yun'er was even more shocked. Did she hear wrongly? Did these words come out of Li Chueying's mouth? If it had come out of someone else's mouth, she would have believed it. However, when it came out of Li Chueying's mouth, she found it a little hard to believe. Looking at Li Chueying in front of her, he didn't have his usual arrogance. Instead, she felt a sense of familiarity. Zhao Yun'er suddenly felt that the world had changed. Li Chueying was usually such a disgusting person, but he could change his personality and become a good person. Chapter 14:22. Zhao Yun'er was stunned for a while before she asked in disbelief, "Auntie? Are you sure? Are you really giving this to me?" Li Chueying thought that Zhao Yun'er was making a fuss over nothing. "Of course. Who else would I give it to if not you?" "No. Auntie, you." Li Chueying seemed to have guessed what Zhao Yun'er was thinking and said apologetically, "Hey Yun'er, I didn't do well in the past. I went overboard with some things. I won't do it again in the future. Now I know in my heart that whoever is good to me, of course, I will be good to that person in the future. You're a good child. I let you down in the past. Take these 10 eggs as second aunt's compensation to you. It's a pity that I don't have anything good at home, so I can only give you these." Zhao Yun'er was still in shock and couldn't react. Was this a joke? How did the world change so suddenly? Li Chueying's sudden realization caught her off guard. Was he faking it? Looking at Li Chueying's sincere gaze, it didn't seem like he was faking it. This is really strange. "All right, Yun'er, Auntie still has work to do when I get back. Just accept the gift." With that, Li Chueying turned and left. She looked at Li Chueying's back as he left and then looked at the eggs in her hand. She was still in a daze and felt like she was in a dream. "Yun'er. What's wrong?" Mu Lianfeng saw Zhao Yun'er's dazed expression and thought that something had happened. He also saw Li Chueying coming over. Usually, Li Chueying liked to cause trouble when he came over. Could it be that he said something that upset Zhao Yun'er? "No. Nothing." Zhao Yun'er forced a smile and replied with a smile. "What did Auntie Li do?" "No. Nothing." "Then what are you?" Mu Lianfeng. I feel that my second aunt has suddenly changed." "Changed?" Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun'er in confusion. "Yes. What do you think can make a person's temperament change so drastically?" Zhao Yun'er touched her chin and muttered. Mu Lianfeng pondered for a while and said to Zhao Yun'er, "Generally speaking, when a person's temperament changes drastically, something must have happened. It could be some difficulties or something." "Difficulties?" Zhao Yun'er muttered a sentence in her mouth. What kind of difficulties did her second aunt encounter these days? Thinking about it, he didn't hear anything big happened. Otherwise, he would definitely know. After all, they were so far away from each other. How could she not know what was going on in old Zhao's house? Except for the incident where Li Chueying fell into the manure pit. Could it be that Li Chueying's temperament changed drastically because of this? At this thought, Zhao Yuner couldn't help but want to laugh. This was really a difficult situation. If Li Chueying's temperament really changed drastically because of this, it would be quite funny. This was the first time she had heard of it. It was unheard of. If someone was cured because of this, would he just stuff that person into the manure pit when he saw that they were incurable? Seeing Zhao Yuner clutching her stomach and laughing, Mu Lianfeng was puzzled. Wasn't she in a daze just now? Why did she suddenly start laughing? What was so funny? He didn't say anything. Chapter 14:23. I was thinking that everyone's difficulties and hardships are different. My second aunt. Haha, her hardships are a little funny, but it's a good thing that people can change. Old Zhao's family finally has one less troublemaker. Mu Lianfeng was silent for a moment, then the corners of his mouth twitched and he chuckled softly. Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng looked at each other. Just as they were about to return to the kitchen and put down the eggs, they saw another figure walking towards them. It was Zhao Pinger. Li Chueying had just left, and now Zhao Pinger was behind her. Zhao Yuner's first reaction was to wonder if Zhao Pinger had suddenly changed like Li Chueying. Sister Ping, how come you have time to come here today? What's the matter? Zhao Yuner asked indifferently. Zhao Pinger bit her lower lip. If she wasn't forced to, why would she come to Zhao Yuner and pay attention to Zhao Yuner's mood? Seeing Zhao Yuner's stiff face, Zhao Pinger forced a smile and said, Sister Yuner, I came here because I need you to do me a favor. Zhao Yuner chuckled. Me? Help. Sister Pinger, what's the matter that you can't do on your own? Why do you need me to come over and help? Zhao Pinger nodded heavily. That's right, Sister Yuner. Other than you, no one else can help me. Haha. Zhao Yuner didn't reply and only laughed dryly. Sister Yuner, can you help me? Seeing Zhao Pinger's expectant gaze, Zhao Yuner coldly refused. Help you? Why should I help you? Do I have an obligation to help you? After being rebuked by Zhao Yuner, Zhao Pinger's face turned ugly. She had already spoken so nicely to Zhao Yuner. Why wouldn't Zhao Yuner help her? After all, she was her biological sister, right? Zhao Yuner, you can't not help me. Zhao Pinger couldn't help but blurt out. Why can't we help? Ping, this is the first time I've heard of someone asking for help in such a tone. Even if I don't help you, what can you do about it? Zhao Pinger's eyes reddened. Indeed, she couldn't do anything to Zhao Yuner. But if Zhao Yuner didn't help her, then she would be finished. Sister Yuner, I came here personally to beg you. Zhao Pinger hid the displeasure on her face and said to Zhao Yuner with an ugly smile. Zhao Yuner mercilessly retorted, Sister Pinger, what are you saying? You came here to beg me for help. If you didn't come here personally, did you want someone else to do it for you? Sister Yuner. Zhao Pinger was speechless for a moment. If it were any other time, she would have turned around and left already. Why would she be annoyed in front of Zhao Yuner? Now that she was forced into a corner, she swallowed her anger and continued. Sister Yuner, please help me. I won't help you. Sister Yuner, you haven't heard what I said. It's not difficult for you to help me. Sister Yuner, if you don't help me, then I'm finished. For the sake of us sisters, you can't let me die, right? Zhao Yuner frowned. If she didn't help Zhao Pinger, would Zhao Pinger die? It shouldn't be that serious, right? Chapter 14:24. At the thought of this, Zhao Pinger's heart felt a little stifled. She had thought that she was doing well and that business would slowly improve after a few more days. However, she had imagined the reality to be too perfect, and there were still not many people coming. She only earned a few dozen copper coins a day. She did not know when she would be able to recover the money she had invested. She was not very anxious, but Mu Chunfeng was very anxious. Every day, she would come back and nag at him. If she did not earn much money, she would be scolded badly. If this continued, she did not know what would happen. In addition, Qin Yuan had been good to her, but in the past 2 days, His attitude had gradually cooled and he ignored her. In addition, Ma Xiaofeng had urged her to come and beg Zhao Yun Zhao Ping had no choice but to come over. Zhao Yun looked at Zhao Ping She did not know where Zhao Ping got the nerve to say such things. Sister Ping this is my way of earning money. Who knows when I will set up a stall to sell breakfast again. If I teach you, what should I do in the future? Zhao Ping frowned and said, Sister Yun you have many ways to earn money. You will definitely not rely on selling breakfast to earn money in the future. Zhao Yun snorted softly. How do you know that I won't? Of course not, Sister Yun You will earn big money in the future. You will definitely not be interested in this small amount of money. Haha, even if that is the case, why should I teach you my way of earning money? Because we are blood-related sisters. We came from the same mother's womb. Blood-related siblings should help each other. Sister Ping even blood-related siblings should settle accounts clearly. Who said that we should help each other? If there is no benefit at all, I will not do this kind of business. Zhao Yun rubbed her chin as she spoke. Actually, Zhao Ping was right. She would not set up a breakfast stall again. Waking up early every day was too tiring. Most importantly, if he was busy with these things, he wouldn't have so much time to accompany Mu Lianfeng and Daodu. Unless they couldn't survive, some of them neglected their children in order to earn money. Daodu was at the age where he needed someone to accompany him, and parents needed to stay by his side. It was more beneficial for the child's growth. In addition, now that she had found a more profitable and easier way to earn money, there was no need for her to go out and make a fuss. Even if she didn't need to set up a stall to make money, Zhao Yun still didn't want to let Zhao Ping take advantage of her. After listening to Zhao Yun's words, Zhao Ping was silent for a moment. She understood what Zhao Yun meant. Yun, how about this? Teach me the recipe. If I make money, I'll give you 2 cents. That way you can earn more. That's why you don't have to work. It's a free trip. You don't lose anything. As Zhao Ping spoke, she stared at Zhao Yun expectantly. Zhao Yun thought about it. She could sit at home and take money for free while Zhao Ping and the others worked hard. That was fine. However, Zhao Yun still shook her head. Sister Ping I'll only get 2 cents? Isn't that too little? Yun it's not little. I'll pay for the costs and do the work. I'll give you 2 cents of the net profits. Xiaofeng and I still have to split the rest. Zhao Ping muttered. Zhao Yun curled her lips. That's too little. Then what do you want? How much do you want? Can I give you 30%? Zhao Yun shook her head. Chapter 14:25. Zhao Yun was too greedy. How much did she want? Little sister Yun, how about I give you 40%? I've already split the remaining 60% with Xiaofeng. Each of us only gets 30%, which is less than you. You can't ask for too much, right? Zhao Yun smiled and said, How much do you think I want? You don't have to beg me. I'm not forcing you. This sentence made Zhao Ping unable to argue. Indeed, Zhao Yun didn't ask her to share the profits. She was the one who suggested it. At the same time, she was still begging her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to run her stall in the future. Little sister Yun, then tell me, how much do you want? If I think it's okay, I'll naturally agree. Seeing that Zhao Ping had spoken, Zhao Yun didn't stand on ceremony. If you really want me to help you, we're in a cooperative relationship. I'll provide the prescription, and you'll do the work. With my prescription, you can only do business. So, I'll get a little more. I'll get 60%, and you'll get 40%. If you think it's okay, I'll teach you now. If not, then do as you please. When she heard that Zhao Yun wanted 60%, and she only got 40%, Zhao Ping immediately exploded. Zhao Yun, you're too black-hearted. You get 60%, and I only get 40%. After I split it with Xiaofeng, that means I only get 20%. How much more money can I make? Isn't it obvious that I'm at a disadvantage? Zhao Ping felt that she would only agree to this kind of obvious disadvantage unless she was stupid. She had invested in everything in this stall. Why should she get so little? She had worked so hard. Wouldn't she be helping Zhao Yun earn all the money? Other than coming up with a prescription, Zhao Yun just sat at home and counted the money. There was simply no better deal than this. Zhao Yun chuckled and calculated the accounts with Zhao Ping Sister Ping when you say that we're at a disadvantage, we really aren't at a disadvantage. I make breakfast, and the customers like it. With so many people coming, business is good. According to my previous business, I earn 1 or 2 taels of silver a day. Even if you only get 20%, that's at least 200 copper coins a day. That's 6 taels of silver a month. Isn't that a lot? If he had bought a better one, it would have cost more than that. Whether it's worth it or not, you have to weigh it in your heart. After listening to Zhao Yun's calculations, Zhao Pinger understood that she could earn a lot more if she cooperated with Zhao Yun. 30 to 40 copper coins a day was simply impossible. But you can't get 60%. How about we split it 50-50? Zhao Ping couldn't bear to part with the money and continued to discuss with Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun's face suddenly darkened. Sister Ping since you don't want to cooperate, then forget it. Let's go. I still have things to do. Seeing that Zhao Yun didn't relent, Zhao Pinger's chest was blocked by a lump of anger. Then I'll go and discuss with Xiao Feng first and ask her what she thinks. Zhao Ping made a concession and said to Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun nodded. Okay. You go and ask. Zhao Ping said and trotted in the direction of Ma Xiaofeng's house. Zhao Yun turned around and happened to meet Mu Lianfeng's eyes. Seeing Mu Lianfeng staring at her, Zhao Yun asked, "Why are you looking at me?" Mu Lianfeng shook his head. "Nothing. I just feel that Yun, it seems that no one can take advantage of you." You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.